On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, Traum's here, and we're going to tell you about it. And also some other stuff. Japan announced the results of those rerun polls they did. Won't that be fun to hear about? Yes, delightful. But yes, hello everyone, I am one of your hosts. I am Omega, with me as always is Lucky. And I'm trying to remember if I did a 13 Bozos of Charlemagne joke last week. I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
But we are proud to call ourselves members of Charlemagne's Bozos. We are the Charlie Commandos.
With that, I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Couple Therapy. While we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EN version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should try to keep their head on through this situation.
Yes, once again, much like the pregame last week, double spoiler warning. There will be a break. I will clearly tell you where the break is. We'll also do the thing we've usually been doing since about LOSTBELT 5 Part 1, I think. And the notes are organized for certain definitions of the word by section. So if you hear us mention the name of a section that you're currently doing or is past where you are, you can feel free to bow out then. So we'll give you plenty of checks and balances, but just watch out. We'll be talking about the stuff. And I know some of you haven't started yet. Which I completely understand. I am also not quite done myself. I'm pretty close to the end, but there's still a decent amount of reading, and there's been a lot of other stuff. But we'll talk about that stuff later. First, I would like to remind you, this episode is brought to you by our patrons, like Adam Hart, Blackest OG, Call Me Zed, Carlos Dragon, Flight Iceberg, Jeremy Vasquez, JDB 9000, Just the Fake, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, Some Guy Named Bob, and Varian the Crow. If you like what we do want to see some more, consider supporting us on Patreon. Get access to episodes early and more. Alright. Thank you for your support, everybody. Sorry. Brief sinus attack there. Okay. But that means that we're through the intros and stuff. We're into business. And it's probably okay for me to say a naughty no-no word. So let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai Mash.
Senpai! Senpai! 起きてください.
Because it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Reserve for pro tips. I have 2 for you. Tip number 1, something that I know some of you have been chomping at the bit. There is a note on this on the official FGO news update, but the new mats, the 2 new mats, will be added to the Pure Prism shop on the 28th. You still got about 10 days to wait. You'll just have to complete Traum and farm normally then. But yes, so if you want Twilight Swords or Ash bottles, you gotta wait a little bit in your Pure Prismification. Also, this is a fun thing that Lucky brought to my attention, but I didn't realize either. But all the LB6 music is in the in-game music player.
Yeah, no. I don't know why I went looking in there. I just sometimes listen to music, and I was just like, wait a minute. I saw the moment a planet is born, which is, the leitmotif that Castoria uses in her NP. Yep. And I was like, gasp!
Yep, and lots of other classic ones. You've got, obviously, all the special battles, including the Oberon battle theme, which is very... Oh, it's so good.
Oh, no, I love all the map themes, after Coronation, Calamity, just that music playing, tingles.
Yeah. And the iconic leitmotif whenever we do a cutaway to Morgan is just called Winter Court. No, it's real good. All that music is, really great, and it's all now in the music player. And most of it's not super expensive.
It is piece and stuff, but I have been low a bit on those, so I'm a little...
Yeah, you got to be careful, but it is mostly statues for the LOSTBELT 6 stuff, so it's something that you can budget out very well. Also, is it the 26th? I don't know. I thought it was the 28th, but I was just, snap rating down what people are saying in the Discord. Either way, it is still, no matter what, kind of, 10-ish days away. More than a week. As, 17 plus 7 is not 26.
Yes.
But yes, LB6, the music. What
it
the
is
music?
the good.
Yeah.
Someone give me a vinyl with it.
Yeah, I don't actually know if we released this.
Call it Records of Avalon.
The FGO soundtracks on vinyls. That might be a good extra merch factor.
I'm not going to say, vinyls have, Battle of San Fidelia or stuff. I just like fucking vinyls. I like the aesthetic.
Like to turn those tables.
I do. I have a vinyl player. It rocks. I don't use it, a fuck ton, but usually on the weekend, I'll put in my, Foo Fighters greatest hits on there. It's a vibe. It's a fucking vibe. I love it. Mm-hmm. But let us move not so swiftly on to Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. This one comes to you from me, your boy, Lucky. So, Lucky is bad at financial responsibility, fiscal responsibility, monetary. I was trying to think of a good word there, but I lost it. Monetary discipline. There we go. Yeah! I made it work. So, I bought a pack and spent a total of 180 quartz and 10 tickets. I think I'm sitting at like 400 quartz and like 35 tickets, 30 tickets, 25 tickets, somewhere in the 25 to 35 range. I'm not entirely sure. I did not deplete myself, thankfully. But I did get MP2 Charlie, Rainbow Sparks on a ticket even, as well as a copy of Roland and Kriemhild. So, all in all, very good luck. Very good luck. Consider myself slightly flabbergasted when I realized that both Kriemhild and the Dawn was story locked. I'm like, oh no. Because I really want the Dawn. I really want the Dawn. He's such a man. He's a manly man.
As the Discord said, if anything happened to the Dawn, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
It's so true. I was actually looking to see if we got like another SR ticket somewhere in the next couple years, and I don't see one. I'm like, no!
Yeah, I asked that question last week. I'm not sure. I feel like there should be one. Maybe for the 30th. We still haven't actually fired the 30 million downloads. We know it's coming.
Yeah, Lucky was half right about something.
Yeah, I believe they've still said that the 30 million downloads should take place before JP's anniversary, but it hasn't happened yet, so we'll see what's up. But yes, to answer the question of the patron chat, you can listen along on Patreon at higher levels and see the chat at any level. That was a records. Hey everybody, let's go over to Not All the World's Evil, but damn close. Hi kids, it's me, Omega. We've done it again. We won about 360 St. Quartz deep on the day of the banner. Only NP2 Roland to show for it. No other SRs or SSRs. So no spooks, but also nothing else. We'll keep trying, but it's not looking good, guys. Roland obviously here being not ideal because he is Permanente. And I found a sticky note on the bottom of this. Yes, terrible news, everyone. The total is risen to 420 St. Quartz. That's right. I dug up 60 more St. Quartz. We've added NP3 Tomoe to the roster. Not even a raid-up servant. So, once again, we will, for the time being, continue digging until the bottom falls out. But, yes, send me your energy, your thoughts and prayers, please. Because, yeah, we're digging. Lordy, we're digging. But, I haven't, exhausted everything. We're still working on the story, and, I have, I completely forgot somehow about the free quests in Heiankyo. So I have, plenty of free quests to mine still. Thanks to the power of the free interludes, I also have, unperformed interludes done. So, and then obviously all the free quests that we added after Traum. So, I haven't exhausted all my St. Quartz at the current time, but, I've zeroed out flatlined multiple times, and boy howdy, oh boy, ooh, 4-star CEs, baby, ooh. Luckily I got some of the new ones, but
No, Omega, you don't understand with 4-star CEs. I talked about, the good stuff. I did get, 2 of the new CEs. But I shit you not. I got a 10 spin. Well, excuse me. I got a 10 spin with 11 cards where 8 out of 11 of them were 4-star CEs.
Oh, I didn't have one that was that bad, but I think I got, 5 4-star CEs in a row. Half of my pull was 4-star CEs. None of which were new in that pull.
It's just one of those moments of let it end.
Yeah, I'm sick of Codecast and what's the one with Kiritsugu's buddy? I forget her name, but the machine gun one. That I got 3 extra copies of that one this time. Covering Fire. Yeah, I've got 3 extra copies. That shit. No, it's so glad that eventually these things get the fuck out of the banner. I'm just tired of seeing them. But yeah. So that's our report. Yes. So you know how things stand. But that means that we can drift on to did you finish your master missions? Actually, before first, I should reiterate on the show the meme I always think of, which is the Red Skull meme. I lead people to a treasure I cannot possess. As the Charlemagne Wanted was fairly popular. A lot of you guys clicked on it. A lot of you guys commented. Some of you did pretty good that way. I know there are a couple people who had some horror stories in the comments, but we're trying out here. Yeah, they've probably been reflected in our Discord, but some people have also had similar experiences to me. They've gone pretty slamma-jamma. We will see how a wanted Moriarty ruler looks. Gonna be honest, I haven't started scripting that one yet, even though that banner should be soon. It might even be tonight, I'm not sure. It's been about a week, though we did get some extra banners in NA as well that we'll talk about in a second. Because, like, I've already done a wanted for Archer Moriarty, so, like, all the Fate stuff... Actually, yeah, right, it's Sunday was the banner drop, so we got a few days. I got a weekend to think about it, and I can get your feedback in the YouTube comments or Discord. Be sure to hit me up. Obviously, he's got a new kit, so, like, we can do that stuff, no problem, and that should be a very compact script to do, though I don't know. I think part of the reason why YouTube liked the Charlemagne video is because it managed to go for over 30 minutes, which it's been a while since a one was that long. But yeah, I don't necessarily want to literally reiterate something I've already talked about in a different wanted video, because Archer Moriarty exists, so his name is the hidden.
Well, you can.
I can probably talk about some of the new stuff, but I have to actually finish Traum to get into.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like you do figure out what's bolted onto him in the story, so you might be able to. Yeah,
there's going to be a little bit of discussion there, but I warn you that no matter how that looks, that video might be a little skinny when it does come out, because it's one of those weird things with alternate characters that happens. But we'll make our attempts. I'll make a funny thumbnail, but yeah, we'll see how it is. But yes. That is the state of that. It means we can move on to Did You Finish Your Master Missions? Which, if you've been spoilers, if you've been playing Traum, yes, you did. Because you need to defeat 3 each of Sabers or Assassins, Archers or Casters, or Lancer Riders or Berserkers, so those 3 are separate missions. Defeat 15 humanoid enemies. Guess what? This story is full of those. And then get 2 drops of gems or statues, and then 4 drops of gems or statues, which you can also get from dailies, but also tends to drop a lot of from story releases. Will give you skill gems or statues. So you should easily clear all of these if you haven't already. Get in there. You'll be fine. But that means it's time to talk about the news. We do have a couple of items. First of all, what they called, and I quote, I directly copied this from the website, the Charlemagne Additional Commemorative Pickup Summon in NA, starting the 14th, going until the 20th of this month. And it's just we've got extra summons added with Altera, Drake, and Iskandar. There's also several 4-star servants on raid up, like Liz, etc. I don't actually know if there was intentionally some sort of, like, Extella Link-themed banner out in JP, but here's one in NA. It's absolutely what this is. This is absolutely a Extella Link-themed banner, or series of banners, which is cool. I feel like... I kind of feel like Extella Link flew under people's radars a little bit, but it's good. Yeah, okay, this is completely NA exclusive. So yeah, we got some extra banners. This is why I said I'm not sure when exactly Moriarty will drop either, because we got some extra banners out there.
Banners.
Always cute to see them slot in some extra slots. But that means we're going to move to JP, because they had their little light live earlier this week.
They did actually focus a lot on FGO me and a lot of the lads were hanging out trying to guess if they would drop new news, even though the stream did say that they would have no new information on events or new servants. But funnily enough, they kind of didn't.
Yes, in a sense, that is technically correct, because the immediate result of well, not immediate, because it started today-wise in Japan, but they announced that this would be happening, and it's ongoing right now, was that they announced they are doing the survey reruns.
Yes.
Back to back. But we know what they are. Number 1 is the survey rerun called A Summer Adventure, starting on the 17th, going until the 7th of next month, of June. And the other rerun is confirmed to be Lilim Harlot. This is kind of where a lot of people expected we will be shaking out. I think there was a question of whether it would be this summer or next summer for the rerun.
Yeah, I was expecting next summer. Excuse me, this summer for the rerun.
Yeah,
our upcoming summer. Because I'm thinking people was expecting maybe to get like another copy of one of the Valkyries. Not to mention, there's a lot of good units in it. But I'm pretty sure everyone knew that Lilim Harlot was going.
Yeah, no. With how probably thematically appropriately, but still a little, stingy they've been with Mother Draco, reruns that, she's been excluded from several, like, GSSR picks and stuff, and special raid eps. A lot of people, I think, have been worried that, her banners would not be forthcoming anytime soon, so this, based on the banners that have dropped for Summer Adventures rerun, this basically guarantees that she will be showing up.
Yeah. No, it's good. Like I mentioned earlier, my original thought is that they were going to drop this along with the 30 million downloads as part of, like a big package, maybe with some quality of life. No. And I do have to say, I am a little concerned about attention retention in this time frame, because this is 2 back-to-back reruns, and they are going, aren't they going like each 3 weeks?
Yeah, they're both 3-week reruns.
Yeah, so this is 6 weeks of reruns, and while I appreciate the banners, it's just like, oh boy, that's a lot of time just to be kind of meh.
I mean, I think we can safely expect, as usual, that probably in the 3rd week of each event, I won't say in the 1st week, because especially, again, knowing that Draco's coming back, that's going to be... FGO will be number 1 on your app charts then. People will be inclined to go ham. But in the 3rd week of each of these reruns, if we haven't, announced something new coming around the corner, you will probably once again be seeing that conversation on Reddit, on Twitter, on, Blue Sky, wherever the fuck your FGO news is sold. People will be, FGO dead game. It's so over, etc. Whether or not it's actually over, but it is an interesting choice. We've talked about this, obviously, right? They know that reruns are not going to be as effective as brand new content. This is part of the reason why they, said they're stepping away from doing reruns. I'm hoping that with these being pulled, there will be a little bit more engagement than normal, but they already announced the dates for Lilum Harlot. That's going to start immediately on the 7th of June and go until the 27th of June, the full 20 days.
Well, I'm pretty sure Caldea's Summer Adventure won't be as bad, because that actually has the mini lotto mechanic, which, people are all about that.
Yeah, I think that's probably why it won out over the next summer, because it has that the treasure chests for extra grind set, brother. So, yeah. And there is a little bit of stuff they've got going on there. Mostly the quest rewards should be the same. If you already got costumes and command codes, you'll get rare prisms. They are adding a new 90++ quest. They didn't phrase that as a new challenge quest, so I think that might just be a new node, which would be interesting. And even if you already got the original Grail, because this is a survey rerun, you'll get a new Grail. So that should be a couple extra Grails right there. So you still have incentive to fully complete the event story wise, obviously. So at least that part people probably won't be slacking. They did also update the bonus servant list for the rerun of Caldea Summer. Added back in some new summer. So no new content, probably no new banners. We don't know for sure if they'll try and who knows, that 90++ quest could actually secretly be the blue comma costume. They might go there. We don't know. But in general, it does seem to be that we're intending to aim for, rerunning basically as it was, but in still leaving you your full-blown, rerun stuff, getting all your rewards in. So they've already, started running the Okitan, Charlotte, and Stacy banner and the Achilles Mandracardo banner. We do know that, Lilum Heart will fire immediately after, so you'll get another chance at that welfare, and I'm actually kind of curious. I wonder if they'll do, pre-release stuff as well, because remember, Tiamat didn't actually drop on Lilum Harlot. She was technically the pre-release servant, so we'll see how they handle those banners, or they might just, leave her till the drop anyway, We'll see how dense they want to get, but there's a lot of fun stuff going on there. And presumably, you'll get new Grails, etc. chances. Mm-hmm. We did also, as Lucky said, they started talking about this year's FGO Fez. That's still a while away, but it is upcoming. We want to prep for the 9th anniversary. And they did actually start showing us some heroic portraits.
Portraits, yes.
I do find it very funny that our, despite the fact that most people realize that's not the correct reading, I do find it funny that our hook still calls her Tonelico. This is one of those cases where it definitely should be Ash. if you want to say it a little extra because there's some extra vowels in there, go for it. But our 3 revealed portraits are Ash, as in, the special anniversary version. Gone into her closet and found some things. We have Hokusai, who's also found some interesting things in her closet. Though, actually, judging by this chart that Toto-sama is holding, I believe she may have specifically designed this to go to the BDSM club. And Asclepius, who's just chilling. Nice doctor's bag, bro.
He's looking fine.
Yeah. So,
he's looking fine, but the girls are looking nice.
Yeah. Also, I just realized, Ash does have 3 braids. That's gonna be a lot of work. They're huge, too.
I bet Habanyan helped.
Oh, Mr. Shirley Habanyan's great. She's based. But yeah, so I don't know for sure what our theme is. Because
they did say that the festival this year is called basically the Fey Grand Order Expo.
Okay.
So that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm pretty sure Hokusai has a guitar case. So I think she's trying to go a little punk rock, and there's it looks like an amp cord is just sticking out of the bottom. But also, there's other stuff going on there. Asclepius, like I said, he's dressed up in a more Hindu or Indian subcontinent costume, but he's still got his doctor bag and stuff. Like I said, Ash is just looking like she's hot off the press of the latest isekai light novel with some very blocky heels, big wedges, but her staff is cool. Good hat. Hat good. But yeah, so, we're kicking it back. And this leads an interesting question. I think we've got we might have a 1 or 2 mailbag comments about a few things down the line, but in general, I do kind of, it is an interesting question. Now we come to the point of, will NA get these exact same reruns? That would certainly be easier on your programmers to not have to pick different events. It would be easier on your audience who already knows what's coming. But I could also see the argument for pushing for a switch. I guess the question would be then, would the results actually be different, though? For Lilim Harlot, almost assuredly not, right?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we would vote for Lilim Harlot as well.
Yeah, no. We would want everybody who doesn't get a Draco, or who wants, more copies of Draco that they don't have, would be pushing for that banner.
As for Summer, honestly, I'm gonna be real, outside of probably rerunning Lilim Harlot, some more copies of Tiamat and Draco, I don't know what other event I would pick.
Yeah, Summers are a good pick, but there's a lot of them.
I would probably actually pick our Summer this year just for more chances of, Ibuki and maybe some other ones that I may have to miss this year.
Yeah. Plus, obviously, that is unfortunately the one with, the most complicated welfare pick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm, not sure. Oh, and also I'm pretty sure we didn't do the Fairy Summer rerun, wasn't on the list, because it's entirely possible that'll get that will definitely get rerun banners and could get some other, coverage in the revamp, like memorial banners, quests, etc., tacked onto the end of the new summer. They definitely always do the old summer servants again anyway, so I don't think they would allow you to vote on that because it would come up anyway, but also that would be kind of pointless for them because they're going to rerun those banners anyway.
They might be planning to rerun those banners after these reruns and before anniversary, because we do have a slice. We have a month or a few weeks at least.
Yeah, JP has a month. And obviously, even if they do pick the exact same events, God knows how this will slot into NA's crunch time, because I assume that there will be. We are reasonably certain, based on what they said, that 30 million downloads is coming and will occur before the anniversary in JP, and I'm gonna guess there is probably some sort of new event coming before anniversary. Probably not a story drop, but something, similar to how we're gonna have, the Dog Warrior event as well already. That'll, that will be coming before our anniversary. So, I don't know if NA will have this. I mean, obviously running them back to back is fine, but NA may have to, yoink some of these up by the bootstraps and scooch them in earlier. We mentioned this last time, but we're hitting Traum almost a full month early. So it's, we have many wiggling of room to do. But yeah, so we'll see how that shapes up. But that is so far all our news. At the time, obviously, JP has immediately fired into those reruns, and they've pre-announced the other one will be coming right after. So while there will probably be some more side banners, and maybe other little things to pick up on during those last week or so of each of those events, we have no further news at this time.
Yeah, they're pretty locked in.
Yeah. And hey, don't mind roadmaps. Final Fantasy XIV put out basically what seems like their entire plans before Dawn Trail launches in a roadmap, for the next, month and a half at this point. It's good to know ahead of time what you got to do where.
Yeah, no. It goo.
And honestly, much like Final Fantasy XIV, I know we got some people in our Discord, in our comment sections, or just generally on the internet who are like, man, I don't know what to do with myself when FGO's slow. And it's like, yeah, I feel it. There have been times when I've been super, super deep in FGO, but I have other things to go super, super deep in on. Hell, I'm probably not caught up with, I'm at section 20 out of at the start, haven't started section 20 out of 22 of them. I can say with definitive that I'm not done with Traum because I have been playing so much Final Fantasy XIV this week. We've got to fish, okay? I'm actually, to have not logged in at all today to do more Traum even, but just one of those things. We got, when your FGO is slow, you got other stuff to look at. There are, if you require gacha games, there are a lot of other good ones actually cycling out there these days. If you don't require gacha games, lots of other stuff going on. So many games. I have a fucking backlog of games going on. But that will probably be our news for now.
That is our news. So everyone, get ready. It is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. Let us pull up the names. We'll give it one last slap on the bum, see if anything else falls out. And we have six lovely, lovely comments here, so we can get through them all. And we'll begin right now. Our first one comes from a master who, after years of training and tribulations, is ready to fulfill his dream. Beat James Moriarty at his own game. Excuse me. Hey guys, hope you've both been enjoying the story of Traum so far. Considering this is just a filler chapter, I've come to like it more than I did Heian Kyo. Guess I prefer mathematic masterminds over demonic clowns. Ruler Moriarty is more entertaining, I would say. He got some snark. He got some sass.
Yeah, him and Domon are both just absolute little shit gremlins, but Moriarty is, you understand why he's the Napoleon of crime. He's likable in a fundamental way that Domon is not likable and trustable.
He's just an evil, they're both clown. The one's a actual entertaining clown. The other is just Domon. But they go on to say, with the announcement of each event that will be run in JP, if you could pick one to be picked up again, technically not grammatically incorrect, but still a mouthful to say, in the future, what would you choose? For me, this coming summer, and the fact we can't get every summer Valkyrie seems wrong for a free servant. Sending you the good vibes, wah 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 wah, and may your summer rolls be blessed. I'm gonna need that. So as they're talking about in our Discord, yes, technically we did already pick this. I would, even though I have not done this event yet at all, I would pick Lilim Harlot just right now. Just lock it in. Give me more Tiamat, give me more Draco, and give me more extra vibes.
This is a thing that honestly seems to be happening a lot in FGO, is just using FGO to follow up on games we can't and properties we can't follow up on normally. A lot of people are saying the Mahoyo collab is basically Mahoyo 2. Very interested in all the extra stuff that may be coming with Lilim Harlot. There's straight up references to Extella Link in Traum.
There's also references to Apocrypha.
Yeah,
as well, but not as directly. But Astolfo has a couple comments about Vlad and another character that shows up.
Yeah, but this is basically where it's at.
But yes, no, there are also a couple slight references to Extella Link in Traum as well. I really should have pulled out that scene of Astolfo meeting Charlemagne in that game, and just the dialogue from there. It's top percent.
Well, I can tell you that I'm pretty sure, because I wanted to look around to see if Charlemagne had a specific leitmotif to use for the Wanted vid. I'm pretty sure that clip is on the internet,
Oh, okay.
I feel like I saw it in some YouTube searches. And yeah, I will say though, if you are like concerned about Summer Valkyrie, I don't know exactly what their timeline is for whatver, but the Evocation Festival store would probably be an ideal place to pick up a couple different one of those. I assume that if they did do that, they would add all of them. It would probably be the only thing they added would be more Summer Valks. Each of the Valks have their own separate ID, right? There's 3 of them, and then they each have a costume. Chat, double check with me. I think it's like threefold, and then like I said, they each have a costume switch as well. But yeah, so Evocation may solve that, or it might not. We'll see. But good answer.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I would. If I had to pick another one, it would be this summer, just because more summer Buki. Okay, I did find the. Hang on.
He's skrunkling. I
am skrunkling. Copy link at the current time. I did find it. Thank you, Zephyr.
With the timestamp and everything. There you go.
Yep. Just listening to Rumi Okubo just deliver high speed Astolfo an argument is hilarious. It's so good! So, this next one comes from a moment of silence for all those servants in trauma who allowed us to repair the traum singularity. Oh boy, howdy. Nothing to ask. They say nothing to ask today. Just sending good vibes, wah 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 wah, and well wishes. Shout out for Traum for having unique, generic servant NPC sprites. It's very interesting. I do think the Archer one is though my favorite. Hood, but like the tactical gas mask, I'm like sick.
Yeah, it's very neat. I like it a lot. I was kind of surprised when I was doing the pregame and it was like, yes, your enemies, assassin, saber, and I'm like, okay, and then you click on him and it's like, oh. Okay. We got little generic class card guys. That's cute. It's a fun time.
So, unfortunately, we have nothing more to say on that one, so we will move right along. This next one comes from Monster Girl Aficionado, who says, Dear Lucky and Omega, no question this week, just sending good vibes, wah 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 wah, and wishing you well. Keep up the great work. Same to you, buddy. Yeah, sorry I pestered you about mailbag as you're writing mailbag, Lucky. It wasn't so much pestering me. I just thought it was funny. Like if I mentioned this earlier because I did wake up, decide to put out the mailbag, but then I got a hair up me bum because I don't know. We might talk about this whole Ubisoft thing going on, but I had to slide into. Well, I didn't actually slide into anyone's DM, but I had to be like, "Yo, you hear about Yasuke? Have you heard about the world's first white samurai?" And then throw down some fucking facts, just in kind of a way to just to indicate how fucking silly I find this whole situation is. But, yeah, no. If I hadn't been goofing off, I probably would have gotten mailbag out before you had actually. So, no, it's just as much my fault. So, no worries! So, let us move as swiftliest on. Swiftliest. This next one comes from the Tire King, who went to pity on Charlie, but was compensated with NP6 Creme and NP3 Roland. Wow. Well, that was almost still pity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's still a lot, but it seems it worked out. It's like me with my Cohen Sky of Dark Rolls. Or was it Light? I can't remember. I got an MP5 on both of them. No, it was Dark, because I got scary lucky with Cohen Sky of Light. I remember that. Terrifyingly lucky. But they say... Question, hey guys, so recently I've been watching a couple of videos about RNG manipulation in some games, and while some view it as cheating, others not so much, I am curious what your views on it. Also, Omega, what are your thoughts on the second Legacy desk to be supported by Sharks in the Abyss pack? Anyway, that's it for me, sending good vibes your way, wah 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 wah, and hope you have a great evening. P.S. Omega, remind me to yell to you about LB7 Part 1 when you make the pregame. I have thoughts and feelings about it.
Is this about, I assume this is about, difficulty stuff? Sure. There'll probably be some questions myself to jump in there.
Anyway, Sharks in the Abyss?
Yeah, I don't actually think we know what else is coming in Rage of the Abyss. That's the next set in the Japanese version of the OCG. There are a couple of side stuff coming on, that you may be thinking of, but I don't think they've actually said what the next bit is. Oh. There are new set spoilers, so we'll continue to do new card stuff as we do fail betrayals. So RNG manipulation, though, that's an interesting question. I kind of feel like I'm assuming if people are talking about it being cheating, it feels more like if you're doing like specific challenges or speed runs. If you're just playing a video game, unless you're booting up a Game Genie, I don't think you're cheating, you know? Hell, even if you use cheat codes, that's not really cheating because the programmers gave you those, you know? Like, they exist for a reason, but... So, I guess that's probably the short version of my opinion right there, is if you're just playing a video game, you can do whatever you like, you know? I like to play tactics games. I've soft and hard reset some Fire Emblem games in my time, you know? Had to restart some whole chapters to do some RNG runs. Yeah, I've heard there are RNG manipulations in FGO. I'm not exactly sure where. I do know that, people don't really talk about it much anymore, but a very popular tool back when the game first launched over here, and I think even before that, was, there was a, what do we call it? There was a card counting app, because, your command deck is fixed, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, if you count cards correctly, you can guesstimate what cards you've got next. I think in general, FGO is not so hard anymore, barring maybe a couple of specific fights that you really need to worry about that. But that was a thing to like talk about in the early days, was actually counting your cards, which is not RNG manipulation. That's just actually the opposite. You're counting on the non-random parts of the game.
Well, if we're talking about RNG manipulation as a whole, like, this is one of the reasons why I had problems with Baldur's Gate 3, is like, it felt no matter what I was doing, I was rolling like under 10, like 80% of the time. So unless I had like a lot of stats buffing up something, I failed at most things. And people, say, oh, you have to turn on karmic dice for that, because then after you fail a few times, you have a better chance of succeeding the next time. I'm like, but that's not how I like to play games. I personally am not afraid of failure in my games, but I am a little leery of constant failure. Like I said, I play a lot of tabletop RPGs. Like, we have several APs on the channel on here, and we use a lot of dice for that. Like I said, mostly we've been using
D1 or dice bot.
D1 to do Genesis dice, and sometimes that dice thing just fucking hates us.
Yeah.
It happens, but other times, I still don't know how this works. Like, I actually I didn't actually yell at you, but I gave Axe strong words, to not use the
dice rolling site.
roller app, because I wanted to make sure that we could all see each other's rolls and stuff and that.
Yeah.
And stuff. And even with Axe using the dice bot, which, as we say, sometimes fucking hates us, is still the dude who'll roll like 6 successes, 2 triumphs at least once a session. At least once.
Axe really does not like to fail.
He really doesn't. But yes, no, Axe, you are right. Like, I prefer like 60 to 70% sense of failure and then 30% sense of failure. Failure, I think, is a very important motivator in character stuff, because only once you have fallen down can you get back up. I think that's very important. I think, yeah. Well, again, Axe, you just roll the dice. You don't do anything else. So guess what? I can't take fucking shit.
Also, I'll say it this way. Also, Axe doesn't believe this, but he's just lucky. Because this is the thing, you're talking about your bad dice rolls, and I'm here to posit. Y'all know I'm an educated man. And stats and probability is the only kind of math I was ever really good at. Some people are just cursed. I was gonna say, Lucky, I'd like to posit you may just be cursed.
I don't know if I'm cursed. I
at least with the Baldur's Gate thing,
Yes,
and some of that's probably confirmation bias. But here's the thing. I also like these games. I play some dice roll games. I play some stuff. I play a decent amount of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a special festival called the Limit 1 Festival. You're only allowed a maximum copy of one of any given card in your deck, which is minimum 40 cards. So you got to play, what's often called Highlander format informally. You only have 1 copy of everything.
Whoa.
This is definitive proof, if I've ever needed it, that I'm just not lucky. I just don't have, I know, I need to acquire the skill to draw better. So many times I was playing in that event, I've let it slack in a couple of the past days, because I've got, until like the 28th for it to end. But I've gotten in there, and I have started some duels up, and I've looked at my hand, and it's, first of all, you would not imagine how many times out of a 5-card draw in a 40-card deck where literally every single card is different. I have seen the same fucking useless asshole that I don't need in my starting hand, for one. And for two, so many times I have drawn exactly 5 cards and these are the exact 5 cards that don't do anything. The game is over. I've lost already because somehow, despite the fact that I have 40 individually different cards in my deck, none of these do anything. We're fucked. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's just like, I think you have a natural tendency to be a little more lucky, and some of us have a little tendency to be more unlucky. I joke about saying like we're cursed. I don't know if it's just like a natural tendency of these qualities to come out in people. I genuinely do believe that from a lived experience going on, some people are just unlucky. God does play dice, and sometimes he rolls low, okay? I understand, mathematically, all things being equal, probability bounces out. But obviously, the amount of time when probability gets in there is, different. How long it takes to get stuff. So, some of you will experience subjectively a lot of bad luck. And I would say to this point, to wrap back around a little to the RNG manipulation part, like I said, if the programmers forgot to close a loophole, and you are able to tweak what should normally be randomized number generation. Obviously, numbers randomly generated by the computers are not truly random. They are generated by computer code. So that means, human error gets in there a little. But if you see an opportunity to do that, that's fine. Now, if you're like playing a competitive game, obviously, and like you are edging out other people by like fucking with the RNG of the computer to give yourself an edge, and they are clearly not aware of or can't do anything about this, that's probably like, I don't know if that's cheating, quote unquote, but it's probably a little unsportsmanlike,
Mm-hmm.
But too many people, I think, get into the purity of single player game experience and like, nah, dude, it's about how you experience the game. You paid for it. You consume the media you paid for. If you don't like the thing you paid for, well, it's too bad sometimes. Ask for a refund if you can get it. If not, tough bippy. Sorry, I'm fighting some yawns a little. I don't know why. I'm very yawny today. I was yawny yesterday, too. It's probably the heat. Ugh, it's wearing me out. Maybe I'll take a cold shower after this.
Maybe. But, like I said, in a general, I think games should not be afraid of letting their players succeed. Because at the end of the day, that is what you want your players to do. You want them to progress in the game. And if you just, keep shutting them down, they're just going to have a very poor experience. So, I can understand, a bit of RNG manipulation to make sure that things remain fair and or balanced. Honestly, I think, part of the Baldur's Gate thing is I think you are just supposed to stack bonuses upon bonuses upon bonuses to get the achieve the rank. This is a system that the Baldur's Gate is a system that was loosely based off of D&D. So, well, I wouldn't say I would say more than loosely, actually.
Yeah, for 3 they definitely worked. Obviously, Larian made it, but they worked directly with Wizards to do the adaptation.
Yeah, so they might have pushed dice rolls lower because they were expecting people to absolutely fucking min-max characters. And guess what? In all my experiences of seeing other people play Baldur's Gate 3, yes, people did min-max the fuck out of their characters. I think they did some fucking stats, the most common player tier was generic white male fucking paladin and stuff.
Fun fact, Paladin's busted.
Don't you all at me about but I did this. I'm talking about the overall statistics.
Yeah, the game developers have access to it, and this is actually something that is true. I know a lot of people who play D&D are like, why do fighters still exist? Why? What is their purpose? And I'm like, well, because most people who've never played a role-playing game before look at a list of 9 different levels of spells that are all different for every different class, and they zone out. And so then you show them a fighter, and this is basically just yeah, you don't need to know any of that shit. Here, you have a sword, you have a board. Here's a list of feats that make you better at sorting and or boarding. Go. And obviously, in 5e, there are subclasses, so there are some variants of fighter that are more technical. Some of them are even, half-casters and shit like that, Eldritch Knight and stuff. But generally, I think there is something to be said for, No, the reason why lots of people play fighters and why fighters exist is because sometimes you just want to hit things. And at least in previous editions of D&D, being a barbarian required you to be, a weirdo from the wilderness who was required you to be chaotic and you couldn't wear pants. I think I made that last one up, but I'm gonna mentally assume that it was a barbarian class requirement. You lose your barbarian powers if you put on pants. It's against the rules.
Also, you can't read.
That is also true in some versions of barbarian. You are denied literacy. So, barbarian is cool. It is also usually dirt simple. You just get mad, hit hard, but, there's a lot of baggage. Actually, hit it good. Not pants specifically, but if those pants counted as armor, yes. That's right. They can't be armored pants. No AC.
No, because, but, continuing the RNG discussion, I will be the first to admit, I make no bones about this. There are times when I can get away with it. I have fudged dice, or I have, conveniently misremembered a bonus or something just to give me that success. But, that's usually in pursuit of the overall goal of the session. If I was to fuck up this roll, and this, I feel like it's not something that I would necessarily get away with. So, usually in those games, RNG manipulation is fine as long as it is in, how do I want to put this? Pursuit of the narrative, I think I want to say.
Yeah. And God knows, I don't necessarily think this is true, but if you want to look at the biggest examples of what tabletop play is like, or what people think it's like, actually, honestly, I don't think Critical Role makes that many bones that they actually, do that much, that their version of D&D is realistic. But those guys straight up get criticized and accused of being scripted,
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they're actually scripted. I mean, I think that they do work out backstory details, and sometimes they may put in that, it'd be a perfectly good time for my, character to die here or something like that. Though obviously some people are just the character death was scripted. I refer you to OSP on this. If you kill a character, that means you fuck up all their future narrative bullshit for the most part. Yep. Barring resurrections being available, which obviously at lower levels in D&D it is not easily, because most people aren't made of. What's the lowest level for Revivify? I think it's still 2,000 or 3,000 GP worth of diamonds.
Was it that much? I thought it was 1,000.
It might be 1,000 for the lowest level. They've done some adjusting back and forth, but at the same time, they're treating this much more like improv theater. So I think they have plans and stuff, and certainly there have been times I think where even with guest DMs on Critical Role, things have seemed a little more railroady than usual. But it's one of those things where that means that fudging is involved, and people gotta be in there and ride the narrative, and sometimes it cuts both ways. Obviously, I think there's a lot going on there when characters suddenly succeed in something dumb. But other times, then they fail on something dumb, and you were you're gonna fail, it's gonna be bad, and they're just let's do it, send it.
Yeah, no.
And, it shakes out, and the story is more interesting.
I was murdering a rando in the middle of the fucking night.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, if you want an example of the dice hating us, I don't actually think it's uploaded yet.
Have I not uploaded it? Let me see here.
I'll double check, but I don't. No, Dallas doesn't regret anything. Dallas is not built for regrets.
I think Dallas, he doesn't regret it. He just thinks, I probably should have done something different.
Yeah, no. That's absolutely, yes, we're basically God's joke, yeah. That was their first season. Jumped off the cliff. And then just from the, as Matt Mercer gets ready to roll a shitload of falling dice, because falling will fuck your shit up. It's just I'll wild shape into a fish? No, wild shape into a bird. A diving bird. A peregrine falcon would have been better. But alas, no. Died. And then they had to derail their whole fucking session to fix that shit. This is why sometimes you do adjust. DMs adjust. Because I can say this as the DM. I've absolutely adjusted dice rolls. There have been times when I've rolled dice and I've thought, oh, well, if I do this way, I'm just going to kill your ass, and that's not going to be very entertaining. So we'll look at that one again. I had a great revelation, a very interesting moment where I was running the first edition of 7th Sea for or Ron and his girlfriend. They'd come to visit me in Florida physically, and we did some tabletop stuff there, a couple of different things. But that worked off an old roll and keep system. You rolled, so many D10s and got to keep so many of them for your total. At some point, Ron straight up noticed that I was keeping lower dice totals, and I said, yeah, no, it's not in the rules anywhere that I have to keep the highest level dice, so I can choose to softball if I don't want to. I think they were in danger of getting their asses kicked by just, brigands on the road. And I was just like, yeah, I don't have to actually take the highest dice here. Flexibility is important. Okay.
Alright, okay, so I am uploading Return to Benison Island 1.
Yeah, you guys will get a kick out of that one. I mean, I don't want to... Some GMs are killer GMs. I feel like I was always warned off that. Most of when I'm mad, I'm just mad at the dice. I'm just like, what is happening here? There's no reason to get mad at you guys most of the time. You're just playing your fucking characters.
Yeah, be worried when you play with me. I will absolutely. I wouldn't say I'm a killer GM, but I am definitely a GM of consequence. You want to do something stupid? Very well.
Oh, I think, admittedly...
I don't know if grudge is the right word either.
No,
I
think it's just consequence. Grudges implies a longer-term state. I think the consequences come immediately. You gotta remember. Yeah, it's been long observed, and you should listen to the RAPs if you want to get this. My classic style of GMing is one of the players turns to me, and they're just fucking, they don't know what they're doing. They rip off the top, and they're just like, I'll do this thing. And I will, just steeple my fingers. I will slowly turn to them, virtually, and I will say, all right, let me see if I understand this. You would like to blah, blah, blah. Are you sure about that? And then if they regret their words and deeds, they'll be, on second thought, no. And then sometimes they will be like, nope, that's what I'm doing. And then we're just like, okay, then I'm going to need you to roll some dice.
Lucky is just, okay then.
All right, just making sure. Sons of dice.
So, yep, but let's move on. Unless there's anything else you want to mention in there.
No, we're good.
I should say. All right, we good. So, we move on to Soul of the Lightmore Discord. Huh! And they say, dear, Lucky's got a jar of ash. And Omega's sort of Twilight book series.
Never actually read Twilight.
But they say, since I've just finished the new story drop, I've been thinking of characters and how I haven't heard many them since they dropped in JP 2 years back. So my question is thus. Who was the standout character for you in this last story chapter? For me, it was Don Quixote and Sancho, who I had honestly forgotten they were even in this game until they come up. So many scenes were brightened by them, plus their character arcs filled the hole that I kind of hoped Kriemhild would have. Not that she was bad, she just didn't arc, as it were.
It's true. Her character so far does kind of seem to be very linear.
I mean, she's a brute force antagonist, literally. But they go on to say good luck on the new Mad Hell and good wah 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 wah. Ended with wah 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 wah. I will say, definitely Don Quixote. Slight spoilers, I guess I will say. Charlie is in this, but Charlie actually doesn't.
That's quite a spoiler because he is at the banner.
Yeah, I know, but Charlie doesn't actually do much. He's like, I'm here. I'm cool. I'm like, yes, you are, Charlie. Are you going to do anything else? Nope. Okay.
He did say when you first run into him.
Well, yeah, no, there's reasons why Charlie is not doing a bunch of stuff. But at the same time, it's like he gets one super cool moment, which is in concert with the Dawn. I shed tears at this scene, by the way. Yes, you're correct. No. That's Charles the Great, not Charlemagne. Fun fact, there is a difference.
Rex Carolus Magnus.
Yes.
Yeah, check out Wanted if you want to know more. Also, if you want to know about Charlemagne, there's a reason why he is the most hyped character in this story, because he's kind of a big deal. Actually, it's funny. I think if this was a straight up competition, like if the Charles the Great, faction was normal, there would be no contest. Kriemhild is strong. She desires nothing but revenge. And she has a fairly decent story backing her up. She's still not as strong as some of these other characters, Constantine, also very cool, but ultimately, his story is that he lost. He was the last Byzantine emperor. Charlemagne slapped. And that's without all of the fiction. He was just cooking. Yeah, I also find it very funny that Wat Arco drew what is very much a classically traditional Charles the Great. We have fun here. But yeah, no. For characters, I would also probably say, like, the Don. There's two things here. One, I wonder if Don Quixote de la Mancha is not read as much in Japan. They may not be as familiar with him. Though I believe, isn't there a... Actually, no, that might be just a... I think there's a location in the Yakuza game that's called Quixote.
Well, yeah, Quixote is a sign of a chain store.
Okay, it is actually a real chain store. Okay, I was like, I'm not sure. Or it's based on one anyway. But the second thing is that I assume the reason why he's not talked about as much is because he's a much more rare servant. This is the thing Lucky was agonizing over earlier. I don't actually think he's had that many raid-ups. He's got a couple, but, not an overflow of them.
Actually, let me actually look that up real quick here. But, like, talking about surprising characters, like, that, I enjoy most of the characters, even some of the nameless NPCs here. Your seven bros, that's how I'm gonna refer to them from now on. You know who they are. Brother Assassin, great. Hecking, please forgive me if I mispronounce this. Shufu? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, the X should be
a shu
sound.
Yeah. Shufu being in there, hecking, I was gonna mention someone else. Oh, the whole deal with Salome? Yep. that was a bit of a character beat, but I feel like that was mostly put in there just so she could have some characterization.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I'm gonna put this out here now. I really feel like Traum is a excuse just to fucking shove in a bunch of characterization so we can maybe move on with a story.
Yeah, no,
which I want to say, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off here, which I'm not going to say is a bad thing. I enjoy Traum, but I feel like we're looking at, the FGO writers were like, shit, we need to wrap up some threads with, Sherlock, we need to wrap up some threads with Caddock, we need to wrap up some threads with, I don't know that he was actually mentioned in the previous Lost Belt, but, again, spoilers, it's mentioned that Don Quixote was actually from the 5th Lost Belt and ran here for reasons. I'll leave it there.
They did, I believe it was mentioned in 5 somewhere in Atlantis that some servants did try and flee, leave the borders of the Lost Belt. So
yes.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of lingering plot threads here. I mean, I feel like I won't, discuss the depths of the thing just yet, but there's some comments at the beginning and stuff. I feel like this Lost Belt was, first of all, written fundamentally to actually answer a question that has been going on since part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of, like you said, this is obviously, it's going to main interlude. It's like Heian Kyo. I think we've talked about this before. Heian Kyo was almost assuredly written just so they could get rid of Doman. We got tired of this guy. We got to get him out of here. We do not want him, nor does it make sense for him to be around for the final confrontation, So we got to get him out of here. What are we going to do? Well, he'll fuck off and do his own evil plan. And that still let them bring in some other good characters. I think there were good characters in Heian, but obviously I think with Count Cagliostro getting cut and stuff, and even some of the other Heavenly Kings not even getting proper cameos, there were clearly what you want to call it, pacing and development time resources that were lost there, so it was not quite as punchy. Traum also feels very similar to okay, we got a lot of character concepts. We don't know what we're doing with, we've got, this guy and that other guy. We've got a lot of these servants we want to release. We don't know when we're going to release them, though, right? What are we going to do? And it's we got this, we got that, we got that other thing, we got these questions to answer.
Yeah, no, and this is one of the things I feel about they did with Salome. Salome is kind of an odd duck in this, but they do make it work very well, because I do believe at this point she is the last of the new bronze. Yes, I know there's some stuff in the bronze is in here to get character, and they do a good job. Please do not let me saying that they're using this as a shoehorn just a bunch of things is a bad thing. Traum is very well written. The conclusion I have questions about, though. I will say this. We will not get to it this week.
Yeah.
Because we're only going through up to section 13 this time, but the conclusion has me going, bleh, and not necessarily in the good way. But
we'll see
everything
what
up to that, like adding like Don Quixote, doing like Don Quixote, Salome, Sherlock, all this stuff, very well good. Like, yes, in general, I would say this is better than Heian-Kyo. In general.
Yeah, so somebody even said earlier, they one of our earlier mailbags was like, oh, it's filler, and I kind of did the classic, hand wavy gesture. Like, I don't think it's filler per se. Like thematically, I think there are some things that are probably going to be sticking around with us in Lost Belt 7, and further stories. But obviously, this is meant, I think, to be a time buyer. Though obviously, it's honestly, it makes me wonder if like this is the kind of thing they wanted for Tunguska, but obviously for time reasons that it also didn't work out. Like, would they have wanted Tunguska to be on this level? I mean, it's already in main interlude, so like it's already kind of there. But like, a much better excuse to like wrap up some characters. And Tunguska especially has a much tighter, much more minimal story stuff. But yeah, this is definitely like, oh, we've got a lot of character concepts lying around, that we haven't used yet, We never got around to integrating Salome. I'm sure that, like, when they released all those bronzes, some of them had much more clear plans to get in there. And obviously some of them were more loose than others, Obviously the Gareth who showed up, was the Lost Belt Gareth, but still, you got to see all the different characters and stuff of everybody before then. And I like I said, I think they made Salome work. It's thematic. We'll talk some more on that later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, even if it's just a vehicle to, like, show more characters and converse more characters, and God knows there's so many previews here, some of which I feel like almost have were like literal one-and-done cameos. There's a lot going on here. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the point. But definitely the character that definitely is leaving the most impression is the Dawn.
Nah, it's good.
I know it's because the Dawn's actually, like, 5 characters, but still.
Again, it's like the Dawn and Sancha goes through, like, a whole bevy of situations, and like we'll talk about it, and it's so good, just so good.
Hell, we haven't mentioned him much in the notes and stuff, but this also is a perfect excuse to actually give characterization to Saber Deerwood.
Oh yeah,
not like a lot of it, but he certainly gets to show up and be in fights. He's part of the squad.
He gets to be a cool dude TM. Yeah, no, I am having a fucking fit mentally. Legendary.
Yeah, I think that's probably the character that surprises me the most. I don't know, like, if it's something that, again, like the Japanese audience or the English audience playing Japan did not resonate with as hard.
Well, the thing about Johanna is that she's right around the fucking Tiamat band.
Yeah, like, I don't know if they, like, we knew ahead of time that, like in Japan that people were like, I don't remember if it was announced that they knew that there was the collab coming. They might have announced that the collab was the arcade collab already at that point.
I think they had. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
feel like a lot of people were like, okay, she's cool, but, so I that's kind of one of those cases where I feel like the normal, like, marketing schedule did her dirty a little bit, because, like,
yeah.
Normally,
like,
I think Johanna would be a huge get for a Valentine's.
Like, I want to roll both Constantine and her because reasons.
I mean, I wanted to roll Constantine just because he's a fucking cool guy.
Yeah, but now I have double reasons, too.
Yeah.
So, it's like,
Constantine, obviously, also got that I'm sure was pre-planned, but during White Day, he got to show up as a pre-cameo.
Mm-hmm.
So, we get all these little things. But yeah,
I am super looking forward to Johanna's Valentine's now. I'm hoping I have work again by that point, so I can maybe have some funds. Oh, do we have any more Constantine banners after this?
Constantine has a couple, I believe. I'd have to double check my wanteds and my stuff, but he should have some. Let me pull up the wiki. I do know that he's not as popular as Servant. It's funny. I didn't actually think, like, looking at him that he was that bad, but I mean, obviously he's getting the algorithm, but I know that Fino released a video recently that was like, it was the Constantine video, and it was the worst SSR in FGO.
Did it have a question mark after it?
It might have. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. That video was obviously like a couple of weeks ago, but like, so I guess there is an impression that he's not super great. He does have a, non-damaging NP, but to me, I'm gonna be honest. I because I've been playing the game since launch, I can't think of any unit released in the past couple of years as the worst. I remember, 3-star and 4-star servants with only 2 skills, and some of our launch SSRs who have gotten like 4 rank up quests. Like it's there have been some servants who were bad before and needed fixes. So I don't know about that. But let me check his banners. He may not have gotten as many because, like I said, I don't know if he's the most popular. But yeah, looks like mainly it's gonna be lucky bags and part of the spray of servants at 8th anniversary. I would also assume at 9th anniversary. He has not had any standalone banners since the Traum preview.
I don't know. I might try on a GSSR.
He will be a pick you can pick on the build your own the Destiny one. If you have no other writers to slot in there, he might be okay.
I don't think I do.
So we'll see. But yeah, he should be in that campaign as well. And like I've been consistently saying this year, FGO seems like driven in this year to make sure every servant who hasn't had a raid up in like a year or 2 gets one. So I would not be shocked if there's not another Ruler Moriarty popping up, not another Constantine, stuff like that. Like you should expect a few of those to squeak back in.
Yes, because in case people don't know, Lucky generally has 3 things he likes rolling for. He likes rolling for Tamamos, he likes rolling for Sakura faces, and 3, he likes rolling for couples. Like, I literally only rolled Cleopatra because I wanted to put her with Caesar, and I'll be like, yes. Like, I am praying that we get, Yoshinaka at some point. I'm hoping that one day, we get a Rugario. I'm just like, yes.
We've been, for Yoshinaka at least, we're at the closest we've ever been.
Yes. So I'm like, no, knowing what I know now is like, no, I need both Constantine and Johanna. Give them to me. Give them to me. But right now, more than anything, I need the Dawn. The Dawn.
Now, we're getting dangerously close to turning the Dawn into the new The Ball.
The Ball. Yes, also Sita.
Yeah, no, reuniting poor Rama and Sita.
Hell, even give me... Now that we got both Parvati and Durga, give me Shiva. Give me MEF face Shiva. That's what I need. Make him blue. I would laugh.
That'd be fine. That could be some Shivan. I will say at least that, like, with... I don't know. I don't actually remember how Durga Kali shakes out, but with Parvati, it's very much like, yeah, this is not... She is not written to be a waifu character. I know that people are, like, fucking obsessed with if women are shippable with the Master or not. Like... There was so much wringing of hands before the Mario collab came out, and I don't think it fucking went anywhere. I don't even know if fucking you would consider, like, Aoko waifu material or not. I don't think so. But I haven't read her dialogue for sure. But, like, despite that, there are still plenty of characters that are not necessarily written to be romantically available, and, like, I actually, in my effort to shovel through more Saint Courts, I burned through, I actually had both of the more recent Kama interludes still in my docket, and I chewed through both of those. The Dream one was very fun. I do appreciate that we took I've summoned forth Habitrot and Bargist in there, but that's very much like Parvati is just like, hello, I need you to do something for me. Fix this lost child. And I'm like, okay, send me in, champ. Put me in, coach. Yeah, no, there's plenty of room there for that. I do believe we have one more mailbag as well.
We do. It comes from Agent 418, who says, hello, Lucky Omega. Have a good weekend, y'all. Same to you. Thank you for being consistent.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep. And that's that.
That is that. That's all there is. There is no more.
So normally I would also have put forward that it's probably time for So You Didn't Get That 5-star. We do, though, have the Dawn coming as well, and, have to finish out all our thoughts. Also, man, I'm tired. I've been going ham this week, and we do got to chew through, probably around 13 acts of Traum, 13 sections. So expect a lot of So You Didn't Get That 5-star, info dumping on Roland, on Kremhilds, on the Dawn, etc. I have my own Roland I'm working on, and I've got a couple chances to use him in the story, and he seems pretty straightforward, pretty normal guy. He hits things hard with a sword.
Bonk.
I've heard that in a vein of a lot of Berserkers, Kremhild is very good. And the Dawn seems like he has some fun stuff, because he's in story support as well a couple of times. So we'll do some in-depth reviews of all the servant bits later. And also technically, Zhang Ju. He's a guy who does things. He's going to be a new Silver.
Does he get when does he actually drop?
I believe that it is... Let me actually check when he's summonable.
Because we haven't mentioned him of. I do like his old man vibe. It's just the problem that he's a villainous old man, but not in the cool way. Like,
yeah, our classic move: do not trust an old man. So let's see. If I know how FGO usually does things, he will be released, I believe, on the. He's not on this banner, right? I don't see him in the raid up, so it should be on. The
people are saying
banner.
he's with Clowny already and down.
So if I remember, usually based on how FGO does this, that he will be permanent after that banner ends. So you'll get your first chance to roll for him on the Mathiardi banner, the Money Burner banner, in more ways than one. Some people will get that joke. If you don't get that joke, you're not far enough in the story. But so he'll be permanent after that. But yes, he's also an interesting guy we should talk about. Ooh, also, I think I actually like his first ascension better. He's dressed in a normal suit with a big yellow coat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, here's his first ascension sprite.
On the glasses too? That's rad.
Yeah. He only spices it up with his traditional affairs as you get to higher levels. Also, got a few different poses. His first ascension art is a front on pose, and then you see him normally in this story in his second, and in his third, he's still kind of facing the same direction, but he's doing different stuff with his hands. Yes, he is a dapper old man, but he's going to be permanent, so we'll worry about that one later. But let's talk about Traum. Let's do some Traum talk. Once again, if you've not done Traum, feel free to disembark the train whenever you so choose, because the train has no brakes.
I'm making sure you don't want to take a break real quick. Get up, stretch, get some water.
I do need to refill my water. Probably a good time we'll take an intermission. But
yeah,
just like we're going to take an intermission, if you need to take a break outside, take one off yourself.
Yeah.
All right, one round of jumping jacks later. That's a joke. I didn't actually do jumping jacks.
I should have done some jumping jacks.
I usually do, wiggle my legs around a little. Not quite like pop a squat, but, do some stretches and stuff. Jump up and down in place a little, but don't want to make too much of a ruckus. It's almost 11 p.m. But I did crack a window because it's actually cooling off outside. So we'll let some of the heat out as we let the lead out. I'm mixing my metaphors. Before the break, I was talking about a train. Now we're cars.
Shoo.
Anyway, Traum. The Traum breakdown. The breakdown of the Traum.
All right, so let's start from the top. As we said before, we're going to go section by section. Like we said before the intermission, spoilers and full of work. Basically, just keep an eye out for when we call out the act name, and you'll know basically when your time is to get out, because we do want you to enjoy the story.
Yeah.
The story.
Enjoy it in your own time, yes.
Mm-hmm. But we will start at the top at Prologue.
Yeah.
Yep. Or A Study of a Perfect Human. This one is a little bit weird, but it basically opens up with Sion and Da Vinci discussing what a perfect human could be. It will slightly go over your head.
Yeah. There's a lot of talking and hypotheticals, a lot of, we don't actually get to see the start of this conversation, but I assume that Sion challenged Da Vinci to a thought experiment, basically. And so, yeah, they have a long discussion about what do you define as a perfect human?
And they basically say someone who could never make a mistake and would always make the right decision. Yes. And never overlook anything. Then they get into a talk about, unless the problem was so insignificant. And then they're like, but then, it kind of defeats the purpose. And so, maybe they had to ignore the problem on purpose. I don't know. Again, I got 80% of what they were going for, but then 20% I'm just like, nope.
It's one of those deep questions about that it's supposed to be a little bit of a mental tongue twister to ask you about
mm-hmm.
what is whatchamacallit, what do you define perfect as, obviously, and that's kind of how we get to the makes no mistakes, no errors in judgment. Oh, it has nothing to do with morality, actually. Also, I would personally, in real life, anybody who says the perfect human has anything to do with morality, I would be suspicious of instantly.
Yes. Because
morality is a thing that is itself not perfect. We do not all universally agree what is moral. Even ethics is sometimes a shaky ground. But, the idea is that there is a logical, a rationally correct decision to make, and therefore the perfect human would make the correct decision every time. But like you said, then they start talking about, like, well, that, what happens if they, chose to ignore a problem, or go around a problem? Would that inherently defeat their perfection by not acknowledging it? But maybe they would, choose not to acknowledge it in order to keep their perfect record, as it were. So, lots of solid discussion back and forth there.
Mm-hmm. But we basically immediately move into Act 1. The coffin seller is my only friend. And it starts very ominous.
Yeah, we're minding our own beeswax.
Like, it opens up with a monologue, or maybe I don't want to. It's like it's basically a third person accounting. I guess it is of something happening to someone, and they're not having a good time. We then move to another wibbly wobbly time, and
there's a lot of, actually, I should say in general, thematically, there's a lot of allegedly omniscient third-person narration in this story.
Yes.
And you are
so unfortunately, I think, again, you won't necessarily get it, but we will move past it.
Yeah.
And it is very ominous. It makes you go, oh, we're about to not have a good time. So we've been chilling in the Arctic, but now we detect the singularity of value error, which we have to immediately solve. They actually do specify that it is error and not EX. They talk a little bit about how values like the most smallest of singularities are like E- and can usually revolve on their own, and how EX usually describes something of, well, indescribable value. So the fact that we got error is like concern.
Yeah.
It should be noted that this singularity takes place somewhere in America, but a lot of things are in flux. They rule out a lot of possibilities of particular architecture and stuff, but they're talking about how magical energy is just popping off everywhere like a pond in a rainstorm. They're saying either magical energy is in flux or servants are firing off their noble phantasms everywhere. One of these is true.
Mm-hmm. And I think
it
based
turns
on
out
where
that
the map is, that it's probably, like, technically, like, Canada?
You can't see it. I did, like, the hardest shrug I could. I didn't actually... but it is in America. You'll be able to take 3 servants, and it turns out that Holmes is one of the best suited to go. And he goes with aplomb, ready to solve any mysteries that may be afoot. Your second servant is Berserker Vlad III, who implies that there was a battle who would decide who would go with you. The master is loved.
There's only one way to settle these things in Chaldea.
With battle! The third slot would be reserved for MASH, but she can't go immediately as the Ordinax is still in maintenance after all the shit that went down in Britain and Tunguska.
Tunguska. Because this is supposed to be relatively close after that. I think in the prologue they said how many days it's been. I don't remember, though.
It hasn't been that many days now.
Yeah, it's been very short. We basically, they mentioned earlier, we're crossing over into the Americas to attack the final Lost Belt, but we basically, we're doing field tests, just zooming around Europe for a little bit to make sure everything worked, which is probably fun. Just going, whee! It is also interesting, I think they have their reasons for it, but it is very interesting to me, and this does kind of do a longer trend where we don't always, seem to mention that we recall certain servants who we've pre-met. I don't know if they're trying to, keep us up with the linear progression of time versus when seasonal events happen and stuff. But it is interesting that I would have, thought the conclusion was that, after... After, Lost Belt 6, MASH could use her normal armor form, though she is no longer going to be double her spirit origin. That's a thing that we did kind of say that would probably fade. But we are straight up back on Ortonax mode, and if you use your MASH in story battles later, she is costume locked.
Yes.
So it's kind of an interesting back and forth. But yes, we only have so many race shift slots, and one of them is reserved for MASH for the future. So it's just going to be Vlad and Sherlock. What more could you need? Also, during I can't remember when that monologue was. I may have written my original notes out of sequence, but
Yes, it was in the second part. They mentioned Rickenbach Falls.
Yeah, one of those dialogues has a mention of, this is the end, we're going over the Reichenbach Falls. There are literally only two people that can be.
Yeah, it's Holmes and Moriarty.
Yeah. Both of them went over the falls, so this actually is mentioned later. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where, like, if you know kind of a stuff.
Yeah. But it turns out there's going to be one more person joining us, and it is the boy with the old school music.
Yeah, playing the
it's
classic
the lad.
Paldea Gate theme.
Yeah, it's Kadok. Look at that drip. And your explosives are, can we say explosive? Firstly, Lucky loves a good for a trim.
Yeah, no, it's Kadok's glow up is nothing short of impressive. Like, he wasn't terrible before, but he absolutely looked like the
teenager.
The skinny rundown nerd of the Cryptor crew, which he is, but like, as we find out a lot later in this, he's also a talented outdoorsman, and now he's actually dressed like it.
Yeah. So apparently it turns out that Kadok has woken up, and it has probably been a while though, because there are later mentions of him reading, files and reports and whatnot. So he's been up and at him for a while, but he has been fitted with what CN calls a mage killer collar, in which that if he tries to use any quote unquote unauthorized magic, will fry his magic circuits and or possibly kill him.
Yep.
Kadok seems to take this with aplomb, if I would say. He basically says, well, I lost my law belt and I did this, so I guess I'm stuck with you guys, so I'll earn my fucking keep. And almost basically slides into the Lancer rule. The party member, not the class.
Yeah.
This is something that I had to double check on TV Tropes, but it is a thing. The Lancer is basically a role member in, the quote-unquote hero's party who acts as a foil to the main character. Basically, if the main character is an idiot, the Lancer will be smart. If the main character is cautious, the Lancer will be reckless. In this case, the main character is a really bad mage, so Kadok is now the mage equivalent. You will see this actually happen several times. Almost immediately, you as a master go to shake his hand, and Kadok's like, in future, don't do that. A lot can be discerned. Mages can discover a lot about you just on your hands. And you're like, got it. Even Director Godol was like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm a mage too. I kind of forgot about this one of these weirdos.
Yeah, he's like, I haven't needed to do mage stuff in so long. These people are so weird. And I will say, I do think that, like, generally the audience is a little, like, some people, I think, were, like, really like, oh, man, this collar thing, destroying his magic circuit seems so unnecessary. I think Kadok is, Kadok is okay with this because he straight up talks about, like, hey, I'm okay with this. You remember how I betrayed humanity, right?
Yeah, I know. It's like, let's go through the shit that we have done to Kadok. We have invaded at our weakest. Like I said, this is us, fresh off of getting Chaldea blown up. We have no allies, no resources, nothing. Strolled into his LOSTBELT, kicked his beloved servant's ass, destroyed his LOSTBELT, and then captured him. He only got rescued by Rasputin, then taken to Olympus, where we eventually showed up again, kicked up everyone's ass, and wrecked fucking form. Including getting Wodaime, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this fucking...
Wodaime,
yeah. Castaria killed, who was, by all intents and by all accounts, a pretty swell dude.
And probably, like, the perfect mage.
Yeah. No, like, if you look at this at a logical, rational view, yes, you want some sort of insurance to make sure that he will not pull something at the fucking, the 0th hour.
Yeah, and Kadok says he admits he is not inclined because he's working for us because, as we said, he has nowhere else to go. He lost his own LOSTBELT, and Wodaime's, international neutral zone for cryptors is no longer in effect because Olympus is gone too. Yeah. And we should also say, not only did we, defeat his tree and his servant, we also punched out, the emperor, the czar, who he was also working on getting rid of, like, at his meanest and toughest LOSTBELT king mode.
Yeah, no, like...
Ivan. So, like, there's a lot to be said for, like, no, even, especially talking about, especially with what things Kadok does later, from a mage's perspective, this is absolutely normal. Like, you know, we've got to put you know, this is basically, the caller is basically going like, okay, you say you'll work for us? Bet. Either you're right and we're right and everything's fine, or if you're fucking with us, you know, kiss your ass goodbye.
And like for all intents and purposes, we don't treat Kata badly. Like, Senator's like, we're like, handshake, glad to have you on the team, buddy, and he's just like, oh my god.
He's like,
no, Kadok, no,
Kadok
honestly,
said literally several times, he's like, how the fuck did I lose to you? How do we do
this?
No,
honestly, I do want to say this just for fun. Having Kadok on the team is great. He adds a actual mage's perspective to a lot of things, and also explains like a little of the basic things that mages would do or know.
Yeah.
So again, really fulfilling that Lancer role and, you know, filling in gaps of knowledge.
And even, like, on top of that, just his pure utility. The approved spells he has, in addition to, obviously, his very fun, special anti-beast magecraft you get access to in certain fights. Like, the fact that he can just do basic tracking, basic sensory, basic bounded fields, like, all the shit we can't do without a custom Mystic Code run through Chaldea, like, is really useful. Honestly, it makes me go, man, I wish we, you know, I wish Kadok hadn't been in his poison coma so long. You know, he's a great addition to the team as a character and as a utility level. And honestly, at certain points, feels like he's keeping up with Sherlock. I'll straight up spoil a bullet point later, but there's a discussion that comes out with the crew. Kadok heavily implies that he has studied under Lord Elmeloy II.
Well, it makes sense.
The why done it question comes up.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. He is the head of the modern magecraft and basically teaches a lot of people how to do more with less, because that's, you know, Waver's whole thing.
Yeah. And I think that because it does come up pretty soon that he talks about his magecraft branch. You know, and talks about how, for natural reasons, even among the world of mages who are notoriously backwards, his style of anti-beast magecraft is falling more and more out of favor. That is absolutely the kind of guy that Waver would scoop up. Also, I mean, you know, once again, I think the timeline's not quite right because Elmeloy Adventures is still stuck back in the hell that is the Fate Stay Night timeline. But, you know, we've got future canon time that eventually will shake, rattle, and roll Nasu. He must address that there are years past 2004.
Well, I mean, that's what Adventures of Elmo.
Yeah, it's starting to move past. It's still pretty close after, but, you know, we're working. But, like...
Listen, if they could put freaking... Oh, I can't remember the kid from Apocrypha.
Flat.
Not Flat, no,
Oh, the
one with the twin sister, the Master of Fran?
Kalas.
Yeah. They put him in the anime. Along with, you know,
I am pretty sure that APOC is technically supposed to happen, you know, around the same time as Fate Stay Night, just in a different timeline. But yeah, like I said, we did in the anime and in the light novels, we did tuck in, you know, young Olga Mary, so I'm assuming that there's probably room for a Kadok cameo at some point. I would love to see him. Hell, I would love to just give me the alternate timeline where Chaldea doesn't exist, but the Team A still ends up together. Yes, I know you'd have to include Beryl. That's okay.
Well, actually, Beryl would probably be still fucking stuck in because I do believe that Beryl is basically was an assassin of something, kind of going around the world. Same with Pepe. I think only Olivia Wodaime and Kadok were actually Clock Tower mages.
Is straight up Marsbury's apprentice.
Yeah.
Kadok would have presumably been at the Clock Tower, and so would our good eye patches friend
Ophelia.
Yes, there we go. I forgot her name for a sec. They were all studying at the Clock Tower. You know, Ophelia's from the evocation department, I think. Akuto Hinakuta doesn't exist. She's you know, that's an assumed identity. She's just fucking hiding somewhere. And Marsbury was like, "Hey, come to Chaldea." And I think it's the same with like you said with Pepe and with Beryl.
Yeah. David, I have no idea what's going through that man's head, so I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure David would also have been at the Clock Tower, but he's also a fucking weirdo, a true genius, you know. we'll unpack his shit later. That'll be January next year. We'll be trying to figure out what the fuck his problem is.
God, that's so long.
I know. I mean, we may get some preamble of that. Like, the first chunk of it does drop in December, but knowing us, we won't be able to, like, fully unpack his shit until January. I know, it's wild. But yeah, so Kadok is a great addition to the crew. He is such a highlight throughout all of this. Because, like, he's not like the Master has a natural charisma when it comes to servants, just because we've been through so much horse shit, by 6.5, that, like, servants who are, by definition, people who do, 8 impossible things before breakfast kind of a deal, servants just kind of naturally mesh with us. We're just out here, like, listening to them, telling them interesting stuff, and, kind of, like, taking into account their beeswax, basically. So generally, most servants, have one conversation with the Master, and they're like, oh, this guy's great. Love this kid. So Kadok is not like a true blue follower like a lot of servants on our side end up being, but he's also, like, so far anyway in the story, like I said, I'm not done yet, but, like, he hasn't done anything to try and actually cross us. Like, even when he countermands us or contradicts us, it is usually for our benefit. He is, like, telling us, hey man, don't do that. Bad idea. But yeah, Kadok is great. I love his introduction. They do the fucking dramatic zoom, and they're playing the music. It's great. But yeah, Kadok is a treat. I believe at this point, was it Trismegistus spits up a prediction?
Not exactly, no. At this point, Holmes kind of silence up to Sion and be like, hey, yo, what about that serious light? And Sion's like, we couldn't do anything about it, but since it's technically a command spell, the caller should catch. And everyone's like, yeah, but let's not call attention to that for a reason. They're like, shit, mum's the word. But they break up after that, and Sion's like, hey, so I asked for a divination, and I got, and this is why divination is wild, because it read, not a problem, revolt, eyelid. What does that even mean? I don't know. I've been staring at it. I'm pretty sure eyelid means eyes closed, which might mean like sleep, dreaming, stuff like that.
Yeah. Revolt obviously becomes very clear in this story, but otherwise is like, boy, that's really open-ended.
Yeah.
Thanks for your keywords.
Not a problem? No idea. There was a lot of problem.
But, as we get ready to beam in there, we get a look at what's going on. And we basically, you get a series of intercuts that are showing you the different factions you're about to run into. As I put it in my original notes, Super Grail War. Choose your team. You have Red Team, which is shown including Kremhild, wow, I really spelled that wrong, Zhang Jiu, and Salome.
Basically, it shows what they're about. Basically, they hold basically a small meeting, and Kremhild basically reads out three crimes that people did and asked what they were due, and ends up killing them all. 2 of them for being basically incompetent, and the third one for being conniving. For our back a letter word. Side note, I love how you can hear Kremhild dragging Balmung around when she is about to use it. The same effect as in her NP. Kremhild, not a swordswoman. She's actually not very good at wielding a sword. She just kind of used it as her instrument of revenge. Also note, this is the demonic Balmung. Very evil. You
can always see it in her spray. But also, I think another important point is Kremhild is not a especially tall woman.
No.
Siegfried is a tall boy. He's like constantly hunched over because of his bad posture, but like I can actually probably, punch in their official heights.
I'm looking it up right now. Let's see here.
And you get a converter for, feet to inches. But so Kremhild's about 5.5 foot, a perfectly, average height. Whereas the Siegfriedius, the Sumanai, let's see, his official height is listed as, tab down to biography. He's listed at 190 centimeters, which is 6.2 feet. So yeah, he's wielding, Balmung, which is definitely, a long sword, probably a hand and a half type thing. At, what you would expect from a normal, 6 feet and 20% more of a next foot, well over 6 foot tall guy. And then his, I would not necessarily say small wife, but his, definitely a head shorter. She cannot wield Balmung the same way. She is not trained as a swordswoman, and the sword is very long. That said, it's ever in her iconography. I don't have a separate note for this, but there are a couple times we're shown Kremheld's realm, basically, and there are a lot of interesting, like, thematic statues that are out there of, like, ladies with swords, and swords on things, and swords through things. I'm pretty sure the statue in her main square is, a chick impaled by a Balmung-type sword statue.
Yes.
So, everything you need to know about the thematics. Also, we've got several different, like, suspense themes. They use them a lot here. The red lighting is pretty good. So that's our red team. Team Crazy.
Team Revenge.
Yeah. Then we need our blue team.
Mm-hmm.
Konstantinos and Johanna. Their realm's a lot more shiny and white,
Yes. Again, we kind of do the thing of, a few people show up, they might have fucked up a little bit. And in complete contrast to the Revenge realm, Konstantinos is all like, you guys did a bad, but it's okay. You can be better, right? And they're like, yeah! Except for the third guy, a caster who whispers in Konstantinos' ear, and Konstantinos is like, just straight up murders this man. Blech. For apparently being the crime of actually being on the side of proper human history. And they declare, like, Krim also declared this, she is fighting against proper human history because how dare these mages use them as familiars. And Konstantinos echoes the sentiments. They are fighting against proper human history.
Yeah.
We also get some more Konstantinos and Johanna time where they talk about many teams. I ship it. I eagerly await her Valentine's event now.
Yep. But yeah, and then we get our last team, which there's no other better way to establish this team than to, we do the same kind of court setup, and the ones holding judgment are Astolfo, Roland, and Charles?
Big question mark.
Because, it's supposed to be Charles the Great, but he's behind a veil, in a mysterious shadow.
He has the hat, though.
Yeah, he's got the big hat.
Must be Charles the Great.
So yeah, we get the same spiel, basically, but, again, you can tell that the green team has a very different vibe as well, because how they handle things, because,
They kind of just interpret things.
Yeah.
This is, I put this on my notes. This is clearly Team Free Spirited read as idiots.
Correct. This is the Team Bozo. These are Team Bozo. And yeah, Charles? I'll make sure to add the question mark inflection. Does mostly just goes, or
or indeed.
Just kind of makes sounds or speaks one-word replies and is interpolated by his subordinates. But yeah, he's got the great hat.
Yep, so there is a really huge gray area where multiple levels of servants all the time. You got heroic spirits, you got phantom spirits.
Yeah.
You have, people firing off noble phantasms. At this point, I think you've seen most of the character designs. I think the only one you maybe not have seen is the assassin one, I think. I think everyone else has shown up.
I think throughout the run around, yeah. And if not, it'll be shortly after. So you see all the designs. Basically, the way it seems like it works is the bulk of everybody's armies are phantom spirits who are, very, very weak, not properly established, but are still servants, so they have capabilities. Then they have a decent amount of heroic spirits, but unless you're, really good at your job, you still have to be kind of incognito.
Yeah.
Most servants are kind of playing by the old school, true name rules. Several times, a servant will try and introduce themselves, and somebody will slap them on the back of the head and go, "Idiot, don't mention your true name." Only a select few in each faction are elite enough and, heroic enough to actually be completely unmasked out there, no disguise, speaking their true names. So it's a fun little detail, and yeah, I think we mentioned this before on Mike, but I do agree that I love our little generic class card type guys. Lancer's got a funny hat. The Saber one is pretty generic, but it is kind of a nice switch up from the Enforcement Knights, who do actually show up in sprites in this as well. Archers are pretty cool with their hoods and gas masks. The Riders are fun. Assassins are the most assassiny And I believe all of these are supposed to be callbacks to the classic card art as well, because we've got the berserkers with the fucking, wolf hood as well, which is great. And the casters are, the generic robeman. Yeah, no, these guys got some pretty good animations. I was very surprised to see the actual generic casters are, not using caster balls in the traditional sense. They have little fireball cluster attacks. They do only have, the 1 or 2 attack animations each, but still, it's interesting. But yeah, so we've got I said before, I joked before, super Grail War, but it is kind of that, we've got multiple Grails, multiple factions, and it's huge. Big teams. Big team battle, even. Oh, they do have a close-up wind one, okay. And then their NP is the higher level spell you can learn as a wizard and unicorn overlord. They cast Thunderbolt.
Wow. Sorry, I'm reading Krimhill's line, just the dialogue that you have Krim and Sig, and after you clear Traum. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
But
we do get to Ray Shift at this point, and then something happens.
It is red. It's not good.
There's a little bit of Greeble there. And
yes.
Later it's described, Kadok pops out and he's like, "Ooh, man, that's ray shifting? That kind of burned a little. That tingled. That was not great." And then you have to go, "No, that doesn't usually happen." So, once again, the game is afoot.
Yes.
But yeah, this is where Kadok explains about his school of magecraft.
Yes, it's a Beast Hunter magecraft. Used for the tracking and hunting of wild animals. Which, back in the day, super serious.
Yeah. And obviously, especially in a world of mystics, when you have to deal with, phantasmal species as well. Very important. Nowadays, just use a gun.
Gun.
Which is, again, very funny that, mages bully Kadok for this.
And again, knowing that, it makes it very interesting that Kadok got fucking Russian, the Beast Nation as his lost belt.
Yeah. I do believe that the idea was that I think everybody was supposed to be assigned a lost belt that would have fit their particular skill sets or their personal interests, right? Because obviously, I think originally there was only supposed to be a lost belt 5. But then, Wodame altered the deal, so all of his friends got them. And all of them obviously seemed like Taylor chosen, Kadok got the Beast Kingdom of Russia, and he got, paired with Anastasia, a caster who in terms of talent is less than him, but has much more raw power, because she's contracted with V. Ophelia obviously got, the Scandinavian region where I believe her family was said to be from in that lost belt. And she got paired with, Sigurd, who I believe it was said that was she was always a big fan of his. Lost Belt 3 really should need no explanation. It's exactly the time and the place where quote unquote Akuta needed to go. Pepe was a huge India fanboy, and I would say even Beryl, obviously Beryl himself clocked in right away with Fairy Society, but even in the original format of Lost Belt 6, when it was just a barren wasteland that wanted him to get rid of, right? Well, that's just doing wet work, That's just Wodame was like, hey, idiot, hey, dumbass, you don't get a real Lost Belt. I need you to clean up a mess for me, because that's what you do. But I brought you back to life, so you can't complain. And Beryl's like, well, shit, guess I can't complain.
Time to betray you anyway.
And we can only make assumptions about Daybit based on LB7, but yeah, it does seem like every cryptor got a little bit of a home field advantage, though obviously not every Lost Belt was created equally. But yeah, and this is also, like we mentioned before, another time for Kadok to be like, hey, do you actual magecraft, do you understand how to do this, that, and the other thing? Your usual answer is no. At one point, I think, because he talks about, what did he call the type of spell?
Suggestion?
Suggestion, yeah, with a capital S. He's like, okay, we're going to go to a town. Do you know how to cast suggestions? And
you're just like, what?
Huh? Holmes has to be like, well, usually we have a little bit of memory interference stuff in the Mystic Codes, and your response is, I do? I guess that explains why every time I've gone to a town in a Lost Belt or Singularity, they don't usually try to kill me right away unless I shout from the streets, hello, I am the master of Chaldea. They just kind of accept I'm supposed to be there. I didn't know. Weird. And yeah, Kadok is absolutely facepalming all through this. At some point, we have to have made him double facepalm.
I'm just hoping that just some days Kadok's just gonna, lay in bed at night and, just quietly just put the pillow over his face and scream.
Kadok would be the one to do that, yeah. Though this does remind me of, like, again, talking about how much Kadok just brightens up the place. I really wish we got this kind of action with Yume Ren.
Yeah.
I think that's... I've seen some fan comics even that are like, the two of them don't interact. I would love to see that. What would Kadok think about this?
Just like, because Yume Ren and like her character like still calls us Kohai. Yeah. For all intents and purposes. And I for the life of me cannot there's no way I wouldn't call her senpai either, or Paisen, as it were.
No, so it's part of the relationship. It would be very obvious. And obviously she's inside events, so we know she's canonically summoned. Maybe she just puts on her sunglasses whenever Kadok is around. No, Kadok wouldn't want a new Anastasia. That's another thing that he's very resolute about, is that while he has master compatibility, he does not intend to contract or summon another servant ever.
No, he had one servant.
Yeah, again, I think that's great that he mentions that he probably studied under El Meloy. He's a real waiver style of master. He's a one and done kind of kid. That's all he's locked in. So it's there, but there's a lot of honestly, there's a lot of conversation in this Lost Belt about how normally when servants are unsummoned, they are supposed to be cleaned of all their new memories and alterations. Also, I think there's a bit of lore that we never actually got into in Fate before, but is obviously kind of apparent. But this is one of the few times they straight up say, "Oh yeah, servants are influenced by their master's personality."
Yes.
I think you can infer that. It may have been a minor note in previous Fate works, but this is one that makes a big deal of the fact that no, servants are influenced by their master. It's a two-way street. So you'll run into servants into summonings who will do some real fucked up shit they wouldn't normally do, but if they get a very nasty master. But if they get a cream puff of a master, they'll be a lot more mellow. This also goes a long way to explain about how the great Fujimaru Ritsuka alliance works. The way that the master is also a reason why all of your servants, once they accept the Chaldean summons, are this way.
You may not remember this, but way back at the beginning of FGO, when you're doing your introduction, the master's alignment is noted as lawful balanced.
Yeah.
He is
neutral.
Yeah,
lawful neutral, actually.
Yeah. You are lawful neutral. You basically follow the rules, but you are not necessarily inclined to good or evil either way. You usually do what is best. Yeah.
Which, if you're picking a character to fucking bail out human order, probably the best alignment,
Yeah.
Because, honestly, there are, some characters who would be considered lawful good who probably would have balked at some of the shit we've had to do before now.
Well, yeah, no, this whole, destroying other civilizations to save our own.
Yeah.
It's we don't never feel good about it, but we've never stopped.
And also, obviously, if we were straight up evil, we probably would have flipped by now. Because there's a lot of this shit sucks. We would have, gone over to the other side or started arranging our own Lost Belt to fix everything kind of a stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, no, so there's a lot of conversations about magecraft that come up here that I like. Also, we didn't mention it before, but I'm assuming that, the phrase the coffin seller is referencing the ray shift on the coffins, but this is quite a zinger of a name.
I wonder if it's a reference to something. Hang on.
I don't know, because it's not a perfectly literal translation of what the name was in Japanese, so.
Let me see.
But yeah, it's in there. But, we hide out, we lay low because the village is abandoned, and it's... I believe they say at some point that there were probably people in this singularity, but they've basically all been killed or evacuated because servants have been fighting here.
Yes.
So the towns are just props, basically. They're fucking, Counter-Strike maps.
Yeah. Best way to put it. And speaking of Counter-Strike maps, talk about ill-fated timing. A battle's about to happen between two sides. So you have to hide while Holmes and Vlad skedaddle.
Yeah.
Luckily, you and Kadok are able to hide. Kadok throws a camouflage spell on, and you're like, rad! This is an opportunity for Kadok to explain a little bit about his anti-beast magecraft. But you basically get to watch two armies go at each other. I'm sorry, I did not actually fully I'm at that part in my quick recap. So
I do
everything after
that. Not much actually happens either in here. I don't even think the Revenge and Reinstatement realms. We don't know their names in full yet, but they're mentioned in an aside. But I don't think they even had any named characters in the fight.
No.
Roland does actually lead the Righteous realm here, and that's kind of we establish what the status quo of the Singularity is. Revenge and Reinstatement fight outright when it looks like one of them is going to win, and I think it was Revenge was gonna press on because they have the better manpower. That's when the Righteous realm swoops in and makes it impossible for anybody to clinch, because they would absolutely completely demolish whoever was weakened by a victory over the other side. So they kind of just stalemate and break it up and move on. And that kind of wraps up this section after we see that little fight, and we go to section 2, the Young Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an area where we do a lot of rapid fire detective work. This is a thing that happens a lot in Traum that I do kind of like. Is Holmes does his usual expository stuff, as showing character development. He's usually a little more free with his speculations. There are a couple of times where he says, it's too early for me to say, but usually he's like, I think I have reasons for this, or I have a theory about that, but he's not playing it completely to the chest. Usually when he withholds information, it's because he genuinely is I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a little powwow with Vlad, with Holmes, and with Kadok, actually. Kadok immediately inserts himself into the Brain Trust to figure out what's going on. We were like, okay, we saw these servants, they do this. Let's check out this bar. You do have a little, scrap fight with some guys just to kind of set the stakes, to see how things are, and test out a few things. And we realize okay, so there's some guys fighting. We got to get intel from the realms. We got to do stuff, and kind of work through those points. But immediately as we reach the conclusion of, okay, time to do our usual bit, we need to pick a side and check them out first. Figure out what their deal is. We immediately have a new disciple to worry about, because young Moriarty already showed up.
Yeah, he's here.
Act 2, he's here. He's just immediately jumped to the point. He's like, hello, it's me. I'm here to troll you, Sherlock Holmes. He drops a little bit of exposition on this. This is, I believe, where throughout the course of this conversation, he straight up says the names of the 3 realms. So Revenge is the red one, Reinstatement is the blue one, Righteous is the green one, in case that wasn't clear earlier. He, shows up to Yammerbox at us, and then we do a break into the next section for him to actually explain what he's got going on, which is the crime of proper human history.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I just want to say, because this is my initial only note for this, Ruler Moriarty has some bars, man. He's spitting.
Oh, yeah.
Because he says, I'm here to deal with a traitor. He does not elaborate, and I think there's some conclusions you can draw for some later dialogue. But, basically it's said, just before he shows up, that Chaldea senses they have a special alarm for disciples of the foreign god. Moriarty shows up. He claims not to be a disciple of the foreign god, but just a foreign disciple.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really sure what that means. The fact that he made a distinction does make us all think it's significant, though. But he says that he's here to deal with a traitor. And because Kadok was already thinking it was Rasputin, because that was our last official disciple left. Because, technically, Koyanskaya was just a contractor.
Yep.
So Kadok kind of, is pre-fired up to think that it's him. It's, his judgment has come. So when Moriarty says, he's time to go to the traitor, Kadok steps forward and is like, yeah, what about it? And I love how Moriarty phrases this. He says, oh, don't worry, I'm not here for you. You're just the toy prize that came in a box of Kishtaria flakes.
I was like, ooh!
Which Kadok basically says, okay, hurtful but true. Not incorrect. And does kind of reiterate that, assuming that Moriarty is properly plugged into the side of the foreign god, that's not actually really clear, We don't see him, taking orders from Team Foreign God. He definitely seems like the normal disciples, and he's just chilling. But, he's not operating normally like how the disciples seem to be. But if he's to be believed, this does really encapsulate what we already knew, that the Foreign God doesn't actually care about the other cryptors. They only wanted Wodaime, and Wodaime's conditions to, was to revive the rest of Team A, and so they don't really care now that those guys have lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Moriarty offers to show us a little bit of what the game he's got going on here, and so he jumps Vlad and just gives him a little touchy, a little bad touchy, and he's just like, "Hey, buddy, rebel." And then Vlad is like, rebel. That's interesting. That's a weird thing you've said to me. Anyway, let me just stake myself real quick.
Well, to keep everyone from frickin', him actually doing anything.
Yeah, Moriarty's plan here seemed to be to try and, like, fuck us up right away by making us immediately have to fight Vlad. But what Vlad, calls up that Moriarty didn't take into account that, like, Vlad III, Vlad Dracul, who did actually, spend some time captive of the Turks, has no desire to be controlled by anybody, and so, stakes himself to avoid having to fight us. He also uses this moment to signal to Holmes that it's time to skedaddle immediately. Yeah, Kadok's trying, but then, Moriarty claps back and he's like, "Oh, don't even worry about it. You're just a prize and a box of Kishtaria flakes. You're my secret decoder ring." Actually, no, he would be like, "You're like those 3D glasses." What, flashy but not useful? Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so Vlad gets taken out kind of immediately, raising our stakes, and we have to get the fuck out of there. I'm pretty sure that we immediately after this resolves, because Moriarty just goes, "Oh, wow, they all ran away in that, like, one moment I was distracted by this guy." We immediately then jump into Act 4, run far away.
Yes, because I do believe it does show up that there are still units in the area.
Yeah, Moriarty basically says as you run away, "Oh, well, they're fucked anyway, because they're going to run into enemy patrols.
Yes.
I better get out of here before anybody wonders, what's going on with me." Which even, if I'm remembering rightly, I haven't double-checked this far as well, but I believe he even does, like, run into some guys and then just basically, like, teleport out of there. Some guys, come back having heard the clash, and he just goes, "Well, too bad, can't see me, bye." But I want to say that, like, instantly I feel like this story is moving much faster than Avalon the Fae. Obviously, Avalon had, LostBelt 6 had a lot of world building to do. There's a reason why Nasu included the fucking notes tab. But even then, in terms of raw story sections, LostBelt 6 isn't that much longer in terms of, like, numerically than 6.5. 6.5, ends in 22 sections, I believe. Is Avalon 28 or 29?
I don't remember.
It's the high 20s, I think. I don't think it got to 30 sections. Let me know, chat. You probably can check out some stuff. Yeah, Moriarty does a lot of chat and shit, but doesn't actually, like, offer any explanation. And it does straight up come up later that he did just appear just to fuck with Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he feels that, like, he will defeat Holmes by just giving him a problem he can't solve because there's something about his foreign disciple makeup that makes him impenetrable, basically. So, he says a lot of stuff and fucks off, but, we move a lot faster out there. And I initially thought, and we do actually wrap around here, but, like, immediately we're on the run and, a trap gets ready to trigger, we step in it.
Yep.
And we immediately tell, despite the fact that normally our modus operandi is that we are the most important piece in the book, we immediately tell, Kadok and Holmes to just beat it, scatter, to leave us and come back later.
Yeah.
And they do, and we get a little bit of the Kadok and Holmes hour.
I do want to say there is something that I do like about this story is we jump around perspectives like a lot, a lot.
Yes, even more so than I think Lost Belt. Lost Belt 6 did a lot of bouncing back and forth between our party and Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
This does multiple viewpoints. That little, like, cutaway interlude we had to introduce all the factions is a tool we will use at multiple points to let you know, like, what's going on where.
No, but we have several sections where we focus on Kadok. We have, sections, we focus on, the various realms.
Yeah. At one point there is, we won't go into detail because that's ahead of our cutoff curve for the night, but there is a battle we fight at one point where there are, multiple fronts at once.
Yes.
And we ping pong back and forth with, like, different servant teams. So, yeah, we do a lot of the perspective, shifting and stuff here. It's very, very solid. So we get a little bit of the setup for the Kadok and Holmes hour, even though that doesn't kick in right away. Because we are captured. We get captured where they decide to, I think that, if I remember rightly, the Revenge Realm guys cotton on that we're the master right away.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, so we're under orders if we find a master to return to the Revenge Realm and present them, I believe it may have been mentioned that Zhang Ju is looking for us.
Yes, because during the realm reveals, they mentioned that Chaldea is, about to appear, and so they pull off scouts that were watching the righteous realm to, look out for the master.
So yeah, and we get to meet a lot of our good buddy squad, starting with the who I called here the Mafia writer, the writer from Sicily. He's very chatty. He says that previously, though they've been since defeated, Team Revenge had additional members in the form of Billy the Kid, Edward Teach, Kiyokoyo, and Fran. Once again, lots of berserk ladies on this squad.
Lots of berserk ladies. Also,
I will say, though, that obviously, we do tend to think of him more as a gag character, but Blackbeard would absolutely be on Team Revenge. Like, that would... On the one hand, I wouldn't be surprised if he said something uncouth and Krem just had to obliterate him. But, like, he would absolutely fit in with their ethos there. He, Blackbeard Edward Teach, known crazy motherfucker. And Billy is a straight-up outlaw, so... I'm kind of sad we didn't get the opportunity to slot in, like, Kiyokoyo here. I think out of those four, she's the only one who doesn't have an extra lot of characterization, as she does spend a decent amount of the collab where she was featured in, being a dinosaur. But I think Fran, Billy, and Teach have all had their kind of moment to shine. We've all met them before. But yeah, so we get locked up here. I mentioned before that I didn't have any notes written down for Act 5 Countdown. I feel like I kind of zoned out which parts were where. I'm pretty sure that Run Run Far Away ends with us being introduced to Kremhild, because I think it ends with us in jail.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I do not remember. So we'll blur Act 4 and Act 5 Countdown together a little. At some point, you are taken before Kremhild, where you do get a there is a funny section where we get basically the Zhangju trial quest.
Mm-hmm.
Some enemy scouts show up and he takes care of them while you just kind of sit there and watch as the master. This is another thing they actually also, talking about the perspective shift, they're not afraid to include that in fights either, to take you out of the question or to give you a lot of story selections here. So you get your trial quest here. And then you are taken before Kremhild, and this is where I mentioned in the pregame there is a unskippable dialogue box. It doesn't really affect anything directly, because you end up in jail no matter what, but I have actually gone back and played through both of those questions, and it's... it is interesting because it's a good opportunity to see more about Kremhild's character no matter what. If you choose to say nothing, Kremhild just goes, oh, how boring. Put him in jail, whatever. If you ask her what she's fighting for, she's just like, yes, I've discovered I dislike you. I'm going to fucking kill you.
What does that affect?
It doesn't change anything, actually. Like, it doesn't change any outcomes. It's just you get different dialogue.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, I played it through both ways. Neither seems to... It's not like an Oberon type situation where there's any like payoff later. I think it just kind of wants to show like what kind of characterization you want to get. If you don't say anything to her, Kremhild remains very calm, but she is, like I said, she is kind of like derogatory to you. But if you do ask her what she's fighting for, she just goes like, yes, I think I dislike you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Zhang Ju, find me a Sanson, find me a guillotine. What do we got around here? And he's just like, I don't know, my lady, I'll have to find something. Hold on, Put her in the dungeon until we're done. I'm in the dungeon. So you end up in the dungeon no matter what. And I'm pretty sure this is where I made my joke about how, now if only I knew Merlin Magecraft lockpicking techniques.
I do. I remember something now. Like I said, I've been playing because I'm trying to brain it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons like everyone was okay with you being captured is that Sion had fucking Trimegasis do like fucking predictions and said that even if you were captured, you would be fine for at least 3 days.
Yeah.
So
and
that's why
I think as a maximum number of 7 days.
Yeah.
So like the Holmes knows that he can't, launch a rescue with just you and Kadok. Mash obviously is like ready to gung ho and be like, put me in, coach, send me in.
Put me in.
They have to be like, Like, I'm almost literally imagining Da Vinci holding her back, like, because the Orton axe still isn't ready. I guess she had to fire a lot of shots. But yeah, no. So that Chaldea knows that we are not in immediate danger. We're gonna last a little while. And so Holmes and Caddock plan to basically shop around to the other realms and see if they can find somebody to actually, like, help bust us out. So, we go through all these parts. I'm pretty sure Countdown is where we focus on Holmes and Caddock going to the reinstatement realm first. At some point in here, we do, though, like I said, we get thrown in jail and we run into some stuff. We run into a mysterious adventurer servant who says that he's currently weaker than any caster. I believe the way he phrased it is, well, I've got one move, but if I do that, then, like, my story's over. So I gotta wait for the right time to do my one big move. Eventually he feeds us the alias of Seton, but we're like, that's obviously not your name, but whatever, dude.
I'm sorry, I knew immediately who he was just from the way he talks. I'm just like, I know that.
Oh, no, yeah. I was pretty sure who it was immediately, and then later he does actually get a spread, and I'm just like, yeah, that's that guy. If you don't know, we won't, like, spoil it for you, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a 1%er, but it's definitely one of those aside, references that if you're more broad or read, you'll probably figure it out, but...
Well, like I said, have you played Stellar Link?
But we ourselves also do run into, Salome, because Zhang Ju is going to straight up torture us. He's going to find out everything we know, or at least he claims he is. I don't know, man. Zhang Ju is he's a shifty old man. Like, he's got some crazy faces, but also there are times when he seems, very, very, gentle, even quirky. Like, the fucking, later, there's a reference to him using some of his Taoist art to set up a load-bearing boss type situation. There's a fucking sprite of him with, like, wistful old man eyes and the little O mouth, just like, isn't this the best way? Ooh. And you're just, so, like, he's a weird guy. But yeah, he was going to talk about torturing us, but Salome gets a very brief chat with us because she's just wandering the fuck around and, like, immediately sees the torturer is about to bully us and just fucking flattens him. She's just like, don't do that. So, setting all this up, Salome decides to, kind of, like, look after us, adopt us, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We are not Jokan, but we're cool. It's very interesting, by the way, they are very insistent on the Jokan spelling. I assume that's because we want to avoid any religious issues by straight up saying John the Baptist. Because obviously, that's a major figure in normal, Christian theology. So I'm assuming that we're translating, just to avoid any possible controversy here. Because some people are sensitive about this kind of stuff. But even though, Zhang Ju is kind of a very big, fuck it, we ball kind of guy here, it does kind of come out when he explains this story to Kremheld that Krem is just like, oh, well, so the master is doomed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if as a fellow berserker, Kremheld understands that if Salome gets attached to somebody, she will instantly start to see them as her Jokan, her John the Baptist, and therefore will ask for their head and cannot control herself. So, basically assuming that whether it's, the normal executioner office or just Salome goes off the deep end, we're fucked. Oh, no.
Yeah.
They do try to assign some extra guys to make sure that Salome maybe doesn't pop off a little too early.
We meet the lads.
Yes. So we get some extra guys in there who ask us things and, we start telling them stories that we've been through because, boy, we have a lot of stories.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it started because Salome wanted to hear some stories too. Yeah. And, that means like the guys guarding us and then just more came in. And we just got a whole squad listening to us as we talk how we ran into fucking Kirk and survived. And they're like, no way.
Yeah, I think it started with just Salome after she runs off the torturers is just like, hey, I'll get you some basic food. You must be hungry, or so I'll get you some water to start, I guess. And then she's like, in exchange, just tell me about what your life is like. You seem like you're not heroic at all. You're normal. You're not a saint. Tell me about your deal. And you just kind of like, okay, well, so here's how it started. And then there are, I think, a couple of the guys are like posted outside your door. Like maybe the writer dropped by as well. And then, like you said, that just spreads to like the whole 7 ship the next day. And, when Salome shows up with food, you're just all crammed in. They're all crammed in there and just like listening. I'm just imagining them all, like, popping a squat around your cot, just being like, yeah, what happened next? All right, so
I mean, and the thing is, I love this concept because while these guys are like servants, they're like phantom spirits and maybe Herrick's and Hands, like, you have hung out with the G's, the biggest dudes.
Yeah.
And survived.
Like, not every single one of these guys, and we do use a couple of different generic sprites at times. We use like a Gouda Gouda generic samurai sprite. There are some of the generic rifleman guys from America, a few other things like that. So, like, they are geographically spread out. In general, a lot of the characters we run into do seem like they're more of the classic European vibe.
Yeah.
So, we've got one guy, is about to yell at his name from the Knights Hospitalier. The writer we mentioned is from Sicily. There are several other guys from up and down the European continent and, the Middle Eastern, the Levant region. So, like, we got a lot of that back and forth, So, we've definitely met a lot of the big movers and shakers, Knights of the Round, Heracles, and a lot of the other classics of that. At one point later, I think it's Shufu, like, asks, talks about the Greek gods, and we're like, yeah, those guys are pretty big. And just, like, constantly people, like, look at us and have the servants have the reaction of, like, how the fuck are you alive? Lots of hard work. Your response isn't really detailed when Zhangju asks you how familiar you are with torture, but the master can definitely say, I've seen some shit. Shujin Doji rearranged my guts once. That was fun.
I rode a giant golem into battle.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, so, like, we're talking about Herc. This means we only got as far as Okeanos. We didn't even get to the end of part 1.
I do believe you do, like, talk to Salome about, like, Babylonia at one point.
Yeah, I think there were some stuff that comes up, but we bounce back and forth a little. But yeah, the primary narrative we get is in there, and Salome is, like, really annoyed because, like, people are getting in on her, like, powwow time, and there's a lot of back and forth there. But yeah, these guys hang out. We also have a weird dream while we're in there. We have, like, a fragmented flashback to what I am pretty sure was a piece of Mr. Blue Book dialogue from earlier Lost Belts. Yeah, it's him, like, fighting the motorcycle and setting off to Area 51. Like, we get that kind of, like, in character actually, but fragmented. I'm not sure exactly which fucking interaction this was, but I have a note here where I'm like, stop making me want to roll creme, I'm already out of Saint Quartz. This was, I think, after I'd made 30 Saint Quartz back, so I was fucking broke ass again. Like, I'd already thrown the 30, and I'm just like, stop it! I'm already rolling! They didn't stop it. But yeah, like I said, in Countdown somewhere, I'm pretty sure that, we visit the reinstatement realm. So, Sherlock and Kadok show up to a Constantino's speech, where, we generally get the vibe, Constantine, he's a very level-headed ruler, he's a very nice guy, but he's very passionate, and he plans to overthrow proper human history, because they are the reinstatement realm. We're gonna get him. And after this conversation, Sherlock basically goes, okay, this guy's not gonna help us. I've scoped him out, he's not gonna help us. But there is a little brief interlude where they do also spot, Johanna as well, and she kind of, like, gives Sherlock the secret sign, and we meet in a church to talk about some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very interesting conversation because, on the one hand, you really do get the vibe that, like, and it's obviously I'll explain later, but Johanna's not really, like, even more so than Constantine, she's not really, like, a bad person. Like, she is all you would expect from a lady pope. She is, very faithful, very concerned. A lot of her earlier, like, preview dialogues are her being very concerned that, her faction is doing so much fighting and killing in her name, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which even, by the way, I should say, for popes is pretty high quality. You got to go through a pope to authorize a crusade. So those guys aren't afraid of doing a little warfare, doing a little crusading. So we have these back and forth conversations, and it's a productive conversation, but also nothing immediately comes of it. Sherlock kind of scopes out that, like, Johanna's not completely bad, but also she can't, like, immediately help us. Like, she can't, like, go around Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
They also kind of, I'm pretty sure especially based on later interactions, I'm pretty sure Johanna didn't realize that Constantine had noticed her go off with those mysterious 2 new guys and, like, immediately tell that we have intruders. Like, I don't think she actually planned this to be a trap. It's just that between her natural inclination and obviously Constantine's reasoning and Sherlock's ability to read a room, they were able to make it look like she just kind of, like, lured them out to, like, try and get information for them before they were caught by the guards. You know? Like, I feel like that wasn't actually Johanna's plan, but it does kind of look like that. And Sherlock does do her a solid and basically, like, you know, flashbangs the couple of guys who come in, and I'm pretty sure there was a crashing glass sound in that section. I think he jumped through a window. Just grabs Caddock and skedaddles. But yeah, the ultimate conclusion to that is that the reinstatement realm will not help us. We got to go to the righteous realm.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this leads into section 6. Do I want your head? You know, we already have the Blue Book flashbacks, I believe, in this point, and you know, Sherlock and Caddock go to the land of the righteous realm to corner a guy to get some info about where their headquarters is, because this is actually a thing that's he does manage to find out in the reinstatement realm. The righteous realm is very covert. They have a terrain that is naturally advantageous to them. And they do a really great job of concealing exactly where their headquarters is through the natural barriers. So every time, you know, they've tried to send scouts to follow them back, they haven't. So he has to grab a guy from the righteous realm and ask him, hey, where the fuck is your base? So, you know, Sherlock obviously went to the big boss school of recruiting. If Sherlock Holmes could Fulton a guy, he would. And just think of a Metal Gear Solid 3 edit where instead of Major Zero, it's Sherlock Holmes. Though Caddock would be great at a sneaking mission.
Oh man, give me a fucking like magic-based Metal Gear Solid. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. A lot of utility stuff. But yeah, so they get out there, you know, through this whole line, and we mentioned this before, but this is where there are several scenes in sequence where Salome, you know, goes back and forth with us, trying to feed us, you know.
Eventually remembers that we need 3 meals a day.
Yeah. You know, first she gives us an apple that's a little poorly cut, but we fucking suck it down because, let it not be said, you know, the master of Chaldea ain't no bitch. And you're like, I can tell this apple was cut with love. And I think one of your goon squad is just like, oh, is that how that works? You know.
Another time she tries to make rice balls with barley.
Yeah.
Does not work.
They didn't have enough rice. They kind of look like deformed Rice Krispie treats. You eat them and you're like, oh, this is good. And then, you know, Seton eats one and is like, yes, that's very interesting you would say that. I think this fucking sucks.
And then Salome eats one and is like, oh my god, how are you eating this?
She's like, you lied to me. This is terrible.
You say as you continue eating them.
Yes, I've got to make your real food. Listen, you know, you were not necessarily getting 3 squares a day at that point, and you had been, you know, transported across enemy lines.
You got to get your calories in.
Yeah. You know, and this ultimately leads to a moment where you are, you know, given a little time away. You know, the guards are so, you know, entranced with you that they're just like, Zhejiang just told us to keep an eye on you. You know, we can take you out just so long as Lady Kremhel doesn't see you. So we'll take you to the kitchens. We'll you know, you'll cook real food. You know, you go through this whole line.
To be
about,
fair,
like,
at first they were all like, Salome was like, you can go and cook at the kitchen with me. And the guard was like, and she was like, the guard won't say anything. And the guard was like, are you fucking kidding me? Of course I'll say something. And then they kind of hem and haw back and forth about this.
Yeah, because I feel like the undercurrent is that Salome is not afraid to team kill.
Yeah,
this is known. So they're like, oh, well, okay, so she's going to kick our ass if we don't let her do this. So they come to a compromise. And you have a conversation about, like, what meal you're going to cook with, like, excess barley. And you do eventually decide on a porridge, basically, on kaikion. You know?
Yeah.
So fun little bit. So, you know, this kind of flows into section 7. I don't want your head. Great conclusion. This one is also very long, by the way. I don't have a lot of notes, but it's very long and drawn out. So, Sherlock and Caddock have to fucking free climb up to the righteous realm. They do not have a good time. There's some wild animals they have to fight. But they run into Astolfo. As always, Astolfo is a treat.
Yeah.
You know, they run into an Astolfo. And, you know, they explain what their deal is and they want to see Charles the Great. And Astolfo's like, yippee! We've been waiting for you. That's great. I'll take you right there. Astolfo flies off without actually telling them where to go or taking them anywhere. By the way, I want to see Traum animated just so I can see Sherlock Holmes and Caddock full hauling ass. You gotta believe they're knife-handing their way across this plane. They're just they gotta fucking run to keep up.
Is there some fucking...
Oh, yeah.
There's gotta be some art of it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely bet that's out there somewhere. Several people get fucking stolfed in this storyline, with Caddock and Sherlock being among the first. Astolfo's excuse is basically just, eto, bleh. I don't know what's going on. But does actually eventually manage to get them all the way back to the throne room, and set it up. And they're basically just like, hey, Charles the Great, can you help out the Master of Chaldea?
I do want to point out, they do explain that the reason why that happened is Astolfo is so used to flying back as fast as he can so that the enemies won't get any information on where their fucking headquarters is.
Yeah, basically
they do explain why.
Yeah, explaining part of that psychology. Yeah, Holmes basically explains it to Caddock, so I think Caddock doesn't do a violence to Astolfo.
Doesn't try to throw
Yeah, Caddock catches up and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like I said, Astolfo's excuse is just eto bleh, but Sherlock is like, it's elementary, my friend. It's clearly that Astolfo is used to flying at supersonic speeds because that's how we keep doing this scouting, without the other realms figuring out where their base is. And Caddock is like, all right, I accept your logic. I'm still mad. I'm still so tired. So much running. Yes, also, Astolfo blasted them with the horn and deafened them, which was very funny.
Oh, especially when Astolfo was just talking at them. They're like, what?
Huh? And Astolfo is like, oh, you guys can't hear me? And it's like, you don't get to hear what Astolfo says, but, the sprites get together, and Caddock at one point is like, man, this guy doesn't know what personal space is. Like, Astolfo, I think, gets right up and, yells in his ear. It's great. Great comedy.
No, it's peak Stolf.
Yeah. Like I said, a treat. But the crux of this is that, with very little convincing at all, once again, letting us know that something may be up here, Charles basically says, well, so long as you agreed to help me, I shall save the Master of Chaldea. By the way, I've been prepared for your arrival.
Shit, I'm sorry. That reminds me. It was a way bit ago.
Yeah,
but back when before Vlad got when they were actually talking about how Karl the Great was actually acting really weird because he was not actually making the optimal moves in this war.
Yes, that's right. Because there's a lot of discussion was made about strategy. We literally have PowerPoints and charts later. So It comes out very clearly. The Revenge Realm's primary strategy is they have much more manpower and they fight like crazy people. Literally that's the introduction scene is Kremheld, basically gives her soldiers the either die to them or die to me type speech. Like, oh, so you guys, fucking went off on your own and broke ranks and decided to do hero shit, huh? Die. You decided to fucking lie to me about your problem. Also, double die. Constantine's realm has much better morale, much better direction. They are a much better organized force. But they clearly do not have as much just raw power as the Revenge realm. The Reinstatement realm, has this huge territorial advantage, but really lacks manpower. And Charles isn't really exploiting it. He's not really turtling, I mean, everybody's kind of turtling, but he's not, properly displaying this. So, we already got the vibe that things may be strange here, which is why I think Sherlock, earlier, after they left the Reinstatement realm, was like, no, I bet we'll definitely find what we need if we go to the Righteous realm. But yeah, so we go through this whole line, and like I said, for basically no commitment at all, I think Caddock even says he doesn't make us sign a self-Gia scroll or anything, agrees to help him. And this is great because... you put in my note, oh shit, it's Minerva. Yeah, Minerva shows up here.
Again, at first I didn't necessarily understand why this was a thing, but it comes out later why this is a thing.
It's explained later, but this is sowing a little seeds. But no, this is just Charles just kind of claps his hands and is like, don't worry, I've already prepared for your arrival. I've actually been waiting to reveal I am on your side. We will support you. Proper human history in Chaldea. I've already put 7 of my best men in position to rescue the Master. I will send the signal right now. Real oh, I did it 30 minutes ago type shit. I love this.
No, it was pretty good.
Because especially when it's revealed, hey, guess who those 7 servants are? It's your goon squad. It's those guys who were already hanging out with you in your cell. That's why they got that duty, because they were the sleeper agents waiting to come around and bail you out. And they are also those concealed servants on the side of proper human history.
Nah, it was such a fucking Batman gambit. Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's great. So we run through. You've got the full 7 lineup, one of every class.
Mhm.
You realize once you get back to your cell when all of them are waiting for you there, and basically Ryder lays it all out on the line. He's like, "Hey, we're actually from the Righteous Realm. We're here to get you the fuck out."
Yeah, no, it's actually a little interesting because you've already split up from Berserker at this point.
Yes,
because you've
say,
made
you find out retroactively the Berserker keeps changing his shtick. Love that guy. Has already broken off to go distract Kremheld.
But you don't notice in a minute because he just first is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go take up a bowl of this Kekyon." I can't remember how it's ever pronounced. Yeah. Kekyon? Up to Kremhill and see if she likes it. And you're just like, "Okay, fine, bye." And then no, you find out later, no, he is up there to cause a ruckus.
Yeah. To go full Berserker mode.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by the way, I like how, like, I think the Berserker asks you to wish him luck, like, because the way Salome is with you, right? Like, it feels almost like he's trying to fucking put the moves on Krem. And you're just like, "Okay, buddy, good luck with that." And then it finds out, no, actually, this man is a hero.
He has gone to die, but he will do it for a good cause.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, like, interesting fucking mental gymnastics here where, like, Salome doesn't really want you to go. She likes you. You're friends now. You're, like, her first friend. But also, like, Salome, like, even though she's a berserker, understands she has to let you go because you're gonna fucking die otherwise.
Yeah. She's also struggling with the idea that I can't pronounce his name.
Yokon?
Yokon,
like,
yes.
Yeah, it's got, like, 2 N's.
Yokon. She actually understands that he is not her Yokon, but if she keeps interacting with him, he may turn into his
Salome's madness enhancement is she will see people as Yokon, as John the Baptist.
And then like, once that happens, she'll want their head. So
like Salome has to like
keep reminding
herself out of it a couple of times, being like, no. This person, the master, is not a saint, they are not a great hero. That's, why it seems like, Salome wanted John the Baptist's head is because he was such a,
amazing perfect
person. He was a pure person. He was a saint in the way that, like Fate talks about saints. Like he was, an incorruptible pure soul, which is why he would never fall for her seduction, but also why she wanted him so much.
John the Baptist ruler win.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty interesting one. I think he does have a couple. All of the original apostles have actually a lot of mythologizing. I think there'd be some very interesting stuff going on there. But yeah, so like, first she intellectually understands, okay, you've got to go. Get the fuck out of here. And then you do a thing that is very polite, but you also probably shouldn't have done. You insist on eating the porridge.
Yes.
You wolf it down despite the fact that you've got to fucking go. And basically that tells Salome that's like, shit, I gotta look out for this kid. They're too great. So she catches up and is like, I'm fucking going with you or I will fight you right now. And
the Goon Squad's just like, well, okay.
Well, if we fight her, we're gonna fucking lose, so we got to go. Because this is a recurring theme, is that like all of these guys are like, they took this mission knowing this is probably a suicide mission. They are the Suicide Squad. This is where I think where we find out the Berserker has already gone to die, basically.
Yes.
What were you gonna say?
I was like, can I just get them as like a package servant? Just, the NPC guys just.
Oh yeah, give me like a bronze like ruler or something that's just like the 7 of them in one Saint graph or something.
Yeah.
Just so they can all stack up and use these animations. That'd be fun. But yeah, so an assassin goes on ahead to scout the route. So unfortunately, Kremheld immediately figures out that something is wrong with the Berserker and just flattens him.
Squick.
Yeah, blasts him with Balmung and is immediately like, that was very weird. I need you guys to double check what's going on here. Is the prisoner okay? Was that what that was about? And then it immediately comes back like, oh yeah, no, prisoner's gone. And she's like, yes, cool. Elite knights now. All my best men pursue them immediately. So like she immediately gets on the PA system as the guys are like slowly sneaking out. I think they threw like a blanket over your head,
Told you to act like a servant.
Yeah. Just seem normal. She immediately gets on the PA and is like, "Hey, everybody who is part of that scouting party, they are fucking traitors. Kill them. They have the master with them. Double kill them." So things start going south. You have to fight a lot of these endurance battles. And basically, Lancer and Ryder get stuck at the gate. I believe your Lancer gets trapped, and your Archer, who was already planning on staying behind to buy you some time, is like, "Go, we'll take you that moment."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they buy you a little space. You get out the gate.
Yeah. Caster, you get out the gate, but Caster tries to stop to slow them down. It doesn't work, unfortunately.
Tries to use Magecraft to create a swamp, which is something we heard of units doing earlier.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Zhangju catches up and is like, "Hey, buddy, how did you think this was going to happen? I'm a master of the Taoist arts. I knew this shit before you walked in the room." And the caster was just like, "Well, I didn't have anything better to do. Bye."
I think it's implied that Assassin gets got early.
Yeah. Though
I don't remember perfectly.
You actually meet up with him at the end, but it's part of an ambush. Like, he's at the forest you're supposed to go through to get to the Righteous Realms territory. But basically the moment you see him and speak to him, he like coughs up blood and dies. So like I think he was like waiting at the scout point and got immediately ambushed.
Yeah, so it's like Saber and Ryder, and Saber tries to hold off the dudes again.
Yeah. But can't, he can only hold out so long and ends up using his Noble Phantasm, and that's the last of his strength. I think at some point in here, Ryder takes a poisoned knife for you.
Yeah, and then he says he's going to use his Noble Phantasm and fire it into the sky as a sort of a signal. So he wants you you and Salome to fucking run.
Yeah. Because you're in a bad way, because when you get ambushed at Assassin, you actually push Ryder out of the way and take a blow.
Yeah,
we don't exactly describe what happened to you.
I thought you took a bullet.
Salome for sure gets shot. I don't know if you actually get shot. I think you might get cut by an enforcement knight. You get pretty badly wounded though.
It was either shot or you get cut. I can't remember.
You get fucked up and are briefly unconscious. So the Ryder from Sicily, your goat, is the last line, because he's like, "I'm on my last legs. My spirit core's about to die. I'm gonna fire my Noble Phantasm in the air. It's nothing flashy, but we should have scouts looking for this signal. So you just got to keep going out there." And so Salome, covers us and has this great moment as a couple of guys show up, and she's just like, "Nope, I'm not gonna give up." And she takes a bullet for you, because we have a little cameo here. Actually, I forgot to make a note of it, but when trying to figure out how to take care of you, Kremhild goes to Zhang Ju and is like, who are our best our marksmen, our best sharpshooters? Give me some assassins and give me some archers. I'll make them my vassals. Basically promote them to proper characters. And actually, Zenjubo's design shows up here, completely unnamed.
Yeah. Yep.
But obviously East Asian inspired marksman shows up, gets a shot in on Salome. Is very surprised when she does not die immediately, but is like, "Well, hit the spirit core. I'm out."
Was this before or after Salome goes, "Give me your head"? I can't remember.
This is after. Basically, you're bleeding out. You're alone with her. You're passing out, and she is about to lose it. She's about to be, because you make eye contact with her, and she's like, "Oh, well, that's shit. Your eyes are so full of innocence. I need you to give me your head." And Master goes, "Nope, can't do that. I got people waiting for me."
Well, he's more like, "Please don't kill me."
Yeah, you're like, "No, I can't die. I got people counting on me." And that moment gets through to Salome, because she's like, "Wait a minute. Yokam would never beg for his life. That's not very saintly. A saint has no fear of death." And that basically snaps her out of it. And then I think in that moment, while she's covering for us, she gets shot.
Yeah.
She protects us with her body, and then ultimately sends us on ahead and turns around, and we have this moment where in the fight you get a Salome who is not invincible, but is literally solo and is gutsable, and just will not die, as she uses the last of her energy to basically pick off the guys chasing us. And I'm trying to remember exactly what happens. I think she just eventually, her spirit core gives out.
Yeah, no, she does. She fades. She does some reminiscing.
Yeah. And
thinking about stuff.
Fades out. I was trying to remember if she actually confronted like Kremhild and Zhang Ju, but I don't think she gets that.
No, Kremhild's still at the council and just talks about how it wasn't love that Salome felt, but rather pity for the weak or something.
Yeah. She was like, poor girl, had no experience with normal relationships. What she thought was love was just the natural pity the strong feel for the weak. I think Zhang Ju has a couple of comments where he's like, wow, didn't know she had it in there. It was crazy.
Yeah,
no, the writer from Sicily is my goat.
Yeah, did have a good art of it.
Yeah, there's a couple of good CGs in here in general and cutscenes, but yeah, we have this good moment. And that's like basically the run of like countdown, do I want your head, I don't want your head, is Salome's entire character arc in this story. It's a decent chunk of the story.
No, it's like I said, it's a good story, but again, it's just one of those things that's like, we need to put Salome in reasons.
Yeah, but it explains her entire deal. She gets several fights to show off what her business is, which is unfortunately usually running out of defensive buffs to heal herself. But she does do some extra damage. And this ends with you basically passing out at the last minute, but because that signal was sent up, Astolfo is able to fly in and pick you up and hurry you off to the Righteous Realm to be healed. So after like some blurry moments, you're picked up, and we move on to Act 8, Idle Talk in the Dead of Night, which does not start in the dead of night. You have your own like Fellowship of the Ring type moment where you thought you were gonna die and you wake up in bed and Sherlock Holmes is there puffing on his pipe, being like, "Hey, you're still alive, buddy. Good work. You're in the Righteous Realm. Don't worry about it." Yeah, it's a beautiful but sad moment. Really, really good that they went this extra effort to like you said, Salome's not in it a lot, but she's in it just enough that you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna forget her.
Yeah, no, she played a key part in the story.
Yeah,
you probably would not have actually gotten out if she had not been involved. So
no, yeah, you needed her extra help for that last leg. After
she kept you from getting tortured, she kept you fed, and she helped in your escape. Yeah. Which
and was fighting with you the whole time against enemies as like waves and waves of dudes get around you. This is a recurring theme with Traum. You being surrounded by waves and waves of men.
AoEs did a lot. NPs did a lot of work here.
Oh no. My MVP so far for this, because the boss fights have not been too hard. My MVP is fucking at least one Castoria and my Summer Musashi, who is NP2.
Yeah, no.
None of these guys resist berserkers, and they have a lot of different classes. So, I could try and set up some double Koyan reloading with Morgan, but I usually just put the Morgan in my back row for if the fight goes on too long anyway. So,
I had some fun with Morgan Castoria because I like the idea of bringing my Avalon LaFaze around and be like, behold.
Hey, I mean that's 100% battery between the two of them.
Yeah,
you'll clock some guys that way.
Also, I did bring some Bargus just because I'm all like Bargus.
Yeah, Bargus has been my rear line anchor a couple of times. Like just because my Bargus is grailed to 90, so she is like fucking extra invincible.
I won't explain what fight it was, but there was a fight that I absolutely with Bargain and two Koyans. Not double Koyan, two Koyans, light and dark together. That's a lot of buster support and a lot of trade damage support.
No, that's good. That's a lot of good stuff in there. It's probably very handy. There's a couple of cases. There is a we'll cover it tonight, so it's not a super spoiler, but ahead there is a caster boss fight where they're like, ooh, there's like 6 ads or 5 ads and they all get taunt. I was like, Musashi, you are being looped. Do not resist. Didn't need any help. It was just like, Musashi, go. But yeah, no, there's some real good fun in here. But we'll talk more about some members of the team. There's a couple cases where I needed like multi-class resistance. So actually, my Emperor's been getting my Chin has been getting a lot of good action as well because he's just real stonks, indestructible man. But yeah, so we basically Sherlock recaps for us what's going on, and kind of explains everything to us. And this is where we get our proper introduction to the Dawn, because Sancho has already realized that Sherlock is going to figure out that they're not Charles the Great because he's fucking Sherlock Holmes. Duh. And so already got pre-planning. I believe we weren't introduced to them, but we've already seen their sprites. There's a story scene where they pull back the curtain and they're like, "That guy's going to figure us out, man. Sir, that the world's greatest detective is going to detect us." And he's just like, Well, I guess we'll have to tell him, because otherwise that's gonna suck. I just imagine, because he's got so much beard and mustache, the Don just, pulling at his fringe there. Just kind of like, yes, indeed, So once we've recovered enough to stand and we get our kind of like recap about what's going on, he pulls back the curtain and is basically like, yes, I am Don Quixote de la Mancha. I am here to help you. I must help proper human history. We find out that Astolfo and Roland are also in on it. The plan probably wouldn't work without them. And basically he's like, rest up. We're gonna get through all these things. We see this intro. I do like that we immediately kind of explain what Sancho's deal is, why she is a horse girl. Mm-hmm. It's because, as explained, basically Sancho plays the role of all of Don Quixote's supporting cast.
Yes.
So she is, Sancho his assistant, but she is also his faithful horse, but also is the maid and the Princess Dulcinea.
I thought she was also the Duchess.
She might be the supporting character of the Duchess. I know she's definitely the Princess Dulcinea, who's not not real. And then I think she was also was she the Duchess's maid, or was she the Duchess? She's like four. I don't remember.
She's the Duchess because she was the horse. She was the horse, Sancho, Princess Dulcinea, and I'm pretty sure I saw Duchess in there, but I don't remember if there was another name in there.
Yeah, like I said, I think
actually
she was the Duchess to the maid's the Duchess's maid servant. But again, like I said, I might be misremembering. But yeah, so like basically, though called Sancho and does say that calling her Miss Sancho is appropriate later, she's basically all of Don Quixote's supporting action. We do get to see some very, very funny stuff. Yes, the horse, Rocinante. Sir would ride my ass all day long, and the Don is like, please don't say it like that. We get some flashbacks of him fighting the windmills, to really establish it up. This does also make me wonder, like I said earlier, if maybe Japan isn't as familiar with Don Quixote. Like over here, that's fucking required reading in a lot of schools. Like it's a part of the general oeuvre, so it's importante.
Sorry, I'm looking at it. So he is the maid as Sancho is the maid as well.
Okay.
And I don't see anything. Unfortunately, it's like it says it says here amalgamation of horse squire princess among many other characters in Don Quixote's story.
Okay.
When accompanying the Don Quixote as the squire, she takes on the character of the country farmer or the horse. On another occasion, takes the character noble advising Princess Dulcinea and the maid Altsidora. So the Duchess might have been mentioned in there, but
I know that they definitely talk about, like, when they're throwing the party later, they talk about, like, oh, think of it like what the Duke and Duchess did for you. So I don't know if...
Well, because I've always assumed that, like, Sancho's political and military prowess have come from the Duchess.
No, who knows? That might be, like, filtered through Dulcinea. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to reread.
Yeah, it's, it's... Sancho's a lot of characters. We just call her Sancho because that's, like, the most common role she fulfills. But there is a lot going on there. But yeah, like I said, basically whatever the Don needs, Sancho slots into that role. Like encouraging, discouraging, doing intel, speaking for him. Literally the other servants around the righteous realm think of her just as the secretary. But yeah, we get a lot of stuff going on there, and we talk shop a little, we talk tactics. This is, I believe, where one of our PowerPoint presentations or spreadsheets comes up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at this right now. Yeah. It'll be summonable on New Year's along with Saberstolf during the New Year's rotation.
Ooh, okay, nice. Also a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get the full introduction. We realize that, not the full extent of what's going on, but kind of covering the basics. And so the righteous realm is secretly on our side, but be careful. Not every servant here is going to side with proper human history. A lot of them were still summoned in the singularity.
Yeah, was this at the point where they're talking about how the urge to rebel works?
I think that's in here somewhere, because like I said, we ask a lot for intel, and we basically have to break down like what our plan of attack is. Mm-hmm. Like it's discussed that like Sherlock's already been working on it, but he reiterates to us that there's got to be grails involved. He's asked us to keep an eye out, because there's been a recurring theme that we haven't mentioned yet, but that keeps happening in fights, is that all of these servants that are summoned to the singularity receive the support of command spells basically from the sky. Like, there is a master here anchoring all these servants, but we do not know who they are or where they are, and that they just kind of, like, they transmit vibes to their servants, usually in the form of filling their fucking NP bar. How dare you? There is, like, I think at some point there's some speculation here where, like, Holmes is like, could Moriarty be the master? Probably not, then who summoned him kind of a thing. Like, what's his deal? But yeah, we get a conversation about, like, what all the strengths of the realms are and, like, how we're going to deal with that. And most prominently, like, our first moment. Yeah, there's some of this conversation comes later when we touch back on Vlad, but it's not. We have, like, an initial briefing here, and it's like basically Charles is like, just hang out for a couple of days, figure out what you're doing. We'll work on some stuff. We need to come up with some long-term plans, And I think Sherlock says that he needs to, like, think about his ideas for a little bit because he is a detective, but he's still got to get info. Mm-hmm. But eventually, the second half of that is the actual idle talk in the dead of night, where Caddock decides to get Mash on the conference call line and pull us up to the ramparts and actually ask some questions.
Yeah.
He digs into the Sherlock type stuff we've truly never had answered. Like, he reminds us about some part 1 shit, and he's like, yeah, I've been reading the records. So when did Sherlock Holmes appear? And we're like, oh, well, he was in we met him in Camelot. But then, you have the dialogue option to be like, well, technically we didn't meet him, but we first heard of him in London, in Londinium, which is true, which is way back. And, Caddock is straight up asked us, like, yeah, okay, so who summoned him then? How is he here? And, kind of talks about, like, well, he previously was kind of like an unaspected servant. He was able to, like, ray shift himself twice, but once he did that, he, after transmitting himself to Camelot and then to Shinjuku, he couldn't do it anymore, Yeah, and Caddock is basically just going like, yes, that's very interesting. And I do like that Caddock straight up is like, hey, do you understand the man from Chaldea? You're following that? And I like that we straight up are like, it's not Dr. Roman.
Yeah.
We've already acknowledged this and moved past it, going through that moment. But, he did at one point tell us not to trust everybody at Chaldea. I do also want to point out, I think this is very important. I'm trying to remember, we'll call him the man from Chaldea from now. Did he ever actually straight up say there was a traitor at Chaldea? Or did he just tell us not to trust everybody?
I don't remember. I think he said there was a traitor.
Because, like, Mash has a very good discussion here where she unpacks the idea that, like, nobody in our party could be a traitor in the regular sense. And I like this logic because it's like, if we just had a normal traitor, if there wasn't some fucking, like I said, I can add 2 and 2, but I'm sure that there's some fucking shenanigans going on, because it's fate. If it was just a normal situation where we had, like, a sleeper agent, they would have tipped their hand already, Like, we run through the logic of who it could be. It obviously can't be the master, otherwise they would just, like, all they have to do is just fucking give up and then it's game over, Can't be Mash. Mm-hmm. If it was, Da Vinci, it would have worked out a long time ago, and obviously doesn't make sense because our Da Vinci is, a backup drive of the Da Vinci who was summoned by Chaldea to serve them, We, like, run through the whole line. We even question Sion, Yeah, basically, Robin, our patron chat, said it better. Basically, if somebody was actually a proper traitor to the foreign god's side, we wouldn't be alive to have this conversation. We would be super fucked.
Yeah, no. So this is why we're super fucking confused. It's all like,
because, like, on the one hand, I don't think that guy would steer me wrong. That'd be a really weird time for him to bring it up. But also, it can't be normally true because, like, we would have gotten God already. So, we haven't really been, we didn't really put stock in it. And I like I said, this is where Caddock implies that, he studied under El Meloy, under Waiver, because he talks about the why done it. And we have this whole conversation where basically he's just like, okay, so Sherlock is mysterious and weird. He straight up asks you, do you trust him? And you can be like, I have my doubts, or like, no, I trust him. I think this is a thing that I've said before, and that I'm not done with Traum, but I still stand by. If Sherlock Holmes was just like, oh, he'd actually been on the enemy side the entire time kind of a thing, the normal betrayal, that would be way too fucking obvious at this point. I'm not done with Traum, so I can't say what the actual answer is, but, like, if it was Sherlock in the traditional sense, it would be way too obvious. It would have come up by now. But also, it is fate, and some stuff can be weird.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, Kadok brings up that he can't be the traitor to Chaldea because he wasn't on the squad at the time.
Yeah.
He was still with the Cryptors then. So, like, there's... I do like, though, that that's how he figured out the 3 people to trust, right? Was, it cannot be MASH, you know? She is technically one of Chaldea's servants. It cannot be her. It can't be the Master, because if they were the traitor, they would have just fucking given up. They would have just said, I'm going home. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Where's my paycheck, Da Vinci?
Da Vinci, cash me out. I'm gonna go be at a casino forever. And obviously it can't be him because he wouldn't have been mentioned. So, you know, also he's got the collar. Yeah. So, like, it's a very important conversation that I really like. And I do like this whole, like, why done it discussion. Because, like, you know, this was something that does come up in case files. Like, with mages, with literal fucking magic.
The how done it is usually irrelevant.
Yeah. They
magic.
Come up
I don't have to
explain
shit.
Yeah, you know. This is why, actually, in the classical rules of to write a classic detective novel, magic is not allowed.
Yes,
because it completely fucks up the mystery of the classic, you know, how done it or who done it story. But why done it is a different matter, and he asks us to think about that, and I've definitely been keeping it in my mind. But yeah, let's see. Well, yeah, we've crossed 3 hours. We'll probably kind of like not speed through, but kind of pick and choose through these next couple of bits. Because, you know, it's after midnight. I'm hungry.
Well, actually, let's do I'll do a count here. Why don't we actually just stop here and pick it up? Because
we can
cut now. That way we can go reread things. Because I've been silent, not because I haven't been paying attention. It's just because I'm constantly trying to rack my brain around those moments, and I really like the opportunity to actually write down my thoughts fully.
Yeah. You explained it earlier, but to remind people, because we have been in the show for 3 hours raw, Lucky basically did, you know, the classic power through in the middle of the night trick, which means you didn't take notes.
No,
there were a couple points where I didn't take notes. I mentioned this earlier. I wrote nothing under Act 5 Countdown. I'm not sure which parts were that one and which parts were the one before it and the one after.
Because I'm pretty sure that next week we're going to have almost no news. JP is going to be in the middle of reruns. NA is going to be still the traum. He might have the new banner. Yeah. But other than that, I'm not expecting a lot. So I think we'll actually have a lot of backfiller time. Enough time so you can do the not to get your 4-star, and we can just fill the rest with more traum talk.
Yeah, this will, and then the rest will be just the big traum deep dive. Yeah, let me see. 7 or 8 issues. It's 22 acts long. Eight's about a third of the way through. We can say that. That's probably a good stop. I think technically the Act 1 climax is I Don't Want Your Head, you know?
Yes.
Like very much so. There is like I also think that like the end of section 13, which I won't say the name of, but like that's also very much a clear like end of like we've reached the middle point over the hump kind of a thing. Because like some big stuff happens there and we think we're doing good, but then, you know, we got other shit to do. The kind of like rising conflict in Act 2. But yeah, that's probably a good point to rope it in to get our reread. You know, I have to double check a few chapters here where I took some skinnier notes. My notes get thicker as I get on later, and I'm realizing that Lucky has not written down his thoughts. So I'm like, okay, I gotta take a few more extra notes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I just didn't think about it. I'm just like, read story now.
I mean, that shows how long it's been since we had a proper story chapter. It's been about a year. Like, we made a conscious choice to make sure to take more notes, like, and go section by section around Lost Belt 5 Part 1. And our while they do get longer, our talks get a lot more in detail. Like I said, I edited the best ofs for previous ones. And, like, our discussion of Lost Belt 1 is, like, very vibes-based, very loosey-goosey, very much like, hey, remember these big moments. And then it goes on to, like, our discussions of, you know, the 2 parts of 5 are, like, way more blow by blow. And I can tell you for a fact, I have not, you know, completely finished editing all that stuff together. It'll take me a while. But when unless the project, like, fucking, you know, kicks my ass completely, when the best of for Lost Belt 6 comes out, that's going to be very long because we are absolutely going blow by blow, and that story is so dense. Every like section of the story is such a big one. But yeah, no, like, we'll call it at Act 8 because that's a really nice moment where Kadok like pulls us aside and like actually tries to like explain stuff to us, and like we actually get to see him do some fucking real mage detective stuff. He's like, hey, if you consent, I can cast a very brief memory suppression spell on you. I can basically like push these memories into your subconscious. And Mash is like, well, I'm not there. What do I do? Don't worry, I'm a mage. I've pre-prepared for this.
Yeah, no, that was the thing that killed me is like Kadok's already thinking ahead. He's 2 moves ahead on the chessboard. I'm like,
yeah,
damn.
It's great because he's pre-prepared. He pre-wrote a scroll. Yes, no, that's a great way to put it, Robin. Omega fighting for his life against Lost Belt 6 for the 3rd time. Yeah, because I had to do the pregame, and then we had to recap it, and now I've got to edit the recap. Well, like I said, I don't have to, but I want to because you guys like those episodes, and they're a real banger. Oh, what do you call it? What are you calling the extra time then?
When you actually had to go through LB6.
Oh yeah, no, right. You're right. Yeah, I guess I had to read it and then regurgitate it. So yeah, no, we're all through it. Yeah, it's a ride, man. I have absolutely not had the time. I have been meaning to actually go back and reread Lost Belt 6 as well, especially after listening to the music. It's such a time. But yeah, no, it's a crazy one. But yeah, so we'll wrap up here. Love Kadok. He's great. Like I said earlier, it makes me wish he was in more stuff. I'd love to see. It's like that, if you showed a little a little Victorian orphan a smartphone, they die. I would love to show Kadok a Guda Guda. He would explode. Yeah, Robin's thinking the same thing. Like he would just fucking. I feel like he would realize what's going on. He would just lie on the floor and refuse to move.
Did Kadok show up in our latest summer? I forget.
I don't remember. He might have had a mention. Summers have been going very much more like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey kind of stuff. So I'm not sure.
Well, no, that's also like something. That's all like, yeah, no, it's summer. Something's gonna happen. But why? I don't know. Something happens every summer.
Yeah, but yeah, let's rewind in the show.
Kadok just has to be glad he doesn't have to participate in Halloween.
Yeah, Kadok gets a free pass. He doesn't have to deal with that shit. Because it's a time, and we got another one coming.
Yeah, we do.
Once we get our pretender Liz. But yeah, Lucky let it a big yawn. We'll wind it up. We could talk about a few things in What's Up, but we can also just talk about these things on Monday with Power Wash.
Probably, yeah.
So, hey, stay tuned for Power Wash Simulator. We'll probably yak about some more of this stuff there. Because, like I said, I've been playing a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel to get into the new event to get more currency. But mostly I have been slamming 14 and FGO. And also, it's hot. It's a little soupy. So we'll bring it in here and get in there. I will say on the 14 front, because I'm trying to make sure that we're all the way through or me specifically is all the way through the MSQ before Dawn Trail launches, because I have pre-ordered Dawn Trail, so I will be getting my early access. We're doubling up on streams, and we'll be doing so probably for the foreseeable future, because there's a lot of stuff to cover. Like, we're getting pretty close to the climax of Endwalker itself, but there's a lot of patch content. Like, I'm pretty sure the quest I'm doing, the dungeon we're about to do, I think it's like 87 or 88.
Well, there is level 90 content for a while.
Yeah, I know that, but like it's a whole 10 level spectrum, so we're on the tail end of that. Obviously, like well over the hump there, but we'll be working on those for a while, and also be doing other stuff because fucking Moogle Tombstone will be fishing. We won't be streaming it, but we will be trying some Palace of the Dead runs tomorrow.
Yep.
Or technically today for me, because it's after midnight.
True.
F you story shit, man. But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for all of that, and we'll wind it out here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pop it down. Do the outro probably, if nobody else has something they want to zing me with. Because I gotta tell you, I'm like I said, it's hot. I'm a little sweaty. I may have to take that cold shower. Or hot shower. To take a shower in general. Loosen my bones. So, we'll wrap us up here. And so yeah, that'll kind of be where we're breaking it out. And if you're watching the show, give us a like, leave your comments below. You can hit us up on our Discord as well. Check out that link in the video description and our channel page. Make sure you're subbed to get new videos. Like I said, there will probably be some kind of wanted video on Moriarty. It'll probably be a little, like I said, a little shorter, a little loosier and goosier than they normally are. But at the very least, like I said, I don't know the full details because I'm not all the way done, but if there's anything like confusing about what's going on with him in the story, it'll be there, though it will also probably have story spoilers if you're not caught up, but there'll be a little bit of things to talk about. We can recap some stuff, so check that out. When that comes out, make sure you're subbed for that, and also for our streams and things, and our APs. Make sure you're subbed for those. One of those will be coming out this weekend as well. So, yeah, make sure you're subbed, make sure you ring the bell for notifications. You can support our channel via memberships, get access to membership badges and emotes. Also, I don't always say this, but, when you're watching streams, you can throw us a super chat. You can give us a dono. You can also super thanks us. You can throw us a dono in the comments down below as well. That does happen sometimes, but YouTube does occasionally, send me little, almost snippy little tabs in the channel page like, hey, remind your viewers about these things, because we make a small percentage of that. So check that out. And like I mentioned earlier, you can support us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early in audio format for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year-ish. At either higher levels, you can get access to other stuff. And it really helps us out and supports us when we decide to be fiscally irresponsible. Or when we're being fiscally responsible. That helps too. I often use your Patreon dollars to buy me food to keep me alive.
Alive.
Delicious food. 3 meals a day. So yes, thanks for your support on that, and you can check out our benefits there. And next week, your homework is do all of Traum, because we'll actually do our full breakdown from there. Hell, we may even, depending on like stuff out there, we may even go back to earlier areas if we forgot something important again.
Yeah.
So be sure to slam us all out there. Obviously, like, if you do think we missed some stuff or you have some comments, you can leave them in the comments or on our Discord, but we have a spoiler channel on our Discord. We'd like to keep stuff redirected there for now. Usually for several weeks after an event pops, we want you to post in the spoiler zone. And, be courteous to your fellow viewers if you're talking in our YouTube comments, or even answering mailbag next week. We'll get into the spoiler deep dive, but, that'll be after some warning, so be careful about that.
Careful.
Yeah, I think that's everything I got, so we'll probably just go ahead and wrap it up out of here.
Righto.
So, goodbye, everybody. See you next time.
Night.